sent a super chat. Update on the Sailor Moon tattoo. My sisters are cheap, so currently we're wrestling with a Usagi silhouette. Her compact but in different colors to represent ourselves are getting the symbol of our favorite individual scout.
Hello, Cybees! My music is over his 5-head. Yes, Jordan River is the Spirit Science guy. You guys actually voted for Spirit Science for once. I'm so happy. Probably because I black-pilled everybody on the Wednesday stream with this video again. Which is definitely going to be the first thing we watch, because, oh my god, it's what made me want to look at this channel. So if you guys don't know, Jordan River is the founder of the Spirit Science channel. The channel full of conspiracy theories and new age woo-woo and just spicy Christianity. I mean, there isn't a single belief system in the world this guy won't congeal into the amalgam that he calls Spirit Science. He's a very fascinating character to me. For me, he's kind of like Yandere Dev. He's just like a little bug in a jar that I just find fascinating. He's a bad person, so don't worry about making fun of him. So yes, last time we did Spirit Science, I was going over his conspiracy theory videos, which turned out to be kind of boring, actually. So it's about time we got back into the nuttier side of old Jordan here. I do have a great old edit of one of the other streams on him I did, where he's talking to his Patchman character as Patchman's god. I do highly recommend that. Yes, this is the Space Jews guy. You are correct. This is the Space Jews guy. If you want to watch me go over the human history movie, that was the first Spirit Science stream. I had to subject all of my Zoomer audience to it, to pass down the trauma. Because I saw that fucking video, and I thought it was a fever dream I had. It wasn't until Martymer81 started making fun of this guy, like, 10 years ago, that I went, oh my god, that was like, it was that thing! Jesus! So yeah, so that's how I became fascinated with Jordan fucking River. And I just have to show everybody this video. You may have seen it before in this stream, you may not, but this is what made me want to react to him on the second channel. Which also happens to be the channel where he channels Charlie Kirk, which is what we'll look at next for sure. And then we might jump around. Also, just to prove that the thumbnail is a real screenshot, I happen to find this scrubbing through this video. I think it's about abortion. I don't even know. We'll probably watch this one too, but I was just like, yes, the guys from Oni Plays knew him back in the day. You can find a recording of them talking about it, because he was a Newgrounds guy. And, like, the Oni Plays guys, like, knew him when he was first getting into this stuff. It's fascinating to hear them talk about it. But yeah, I think he's had too much ayahuasca too many times. I have the supers on pause because I have to subject all of you to this fucking video. So, here we go.
Hey, today I want to show you how to make yourself the absolute most delicious homemade chocolate that you've ever had.
He never says what makes it healing.
You'll probably never want to buy any store-bought chocolate ever again. There's no comparison. And the thing is, it's ridiculously easy to do.
He does look like a sleep paralysis demon.
That we need to get started. I think I have almost everything here. Wait, maple syrup?
He's so unprepared.
Other than that, okay, so here's what I got. First, you'll need some cacao butter. You can also use
cacao
paste, which includes the powder and the butter mixed together before they've been separated. But I don't have that right now, so we're gonna go with cacao butter, cacao powder, maple syrup, and then you can throw in a few extra things if you like. You could do a little cinnamon, or you could add some spice.
Yes, you heard that right. He's taking cocoa butter, cocoa powder, and maple syrup and mixing them together.
Powder, and I might throw in a little dash of that, and I think we're good to go. So, the whole thing is ridiculously easy. What we're gonna do is
this video's kind of quiet.
For me, it's
sorry.
Like whatever amount of cacao butter I have.
It's about as loud as I can make it.
How big of a batch you want to make, but this is the last of it that I have. So I'm just gonna toss that aside, and I'm gonna chop this butter up, and then we're
no cryo. You're here for this again.
Heat it up very lightly.
He's just gonna heat up the butter, guys.
To start,
Wait do you see how he does that? The first time we watched this, me and the whole chat were losing our minds.
Throw it in here.
Alright, so he's putting it in a measuring cup, so he's gonna put it in the microwave, right?
A little messy, but that should do it.
Right, he's gonna put it in the microwave, right? You'd think so.
Then we're gonna put it.
No, he's gonna put a glass measuring cup on the fucking stovetop.
Like set it to I don't know, 2 or something like that. This is gonna just start to heat up.
Never do that. It could
You
explode.
just want it warm enough so that it starts to liquefy. You can also put this in a pot or whatever you like, but by the end of it...
He also didn't measure the butter at all. He was like, oh, I think I just have enough.
75.
He was 100% serious doing that. I don't know why he uploaded this. This is my favorite part here. Totally did not stick the landing on the camera angle coming back. Oh well. So he fucked up the camera angle. The whole recipe just goes wrong. But he uploaded it anyway, and I have no idea why.
The butter, you want to do the exact same amount with the powder. So for me, I guess, based on what's probably there, because I don't know, it hasn't melted
I'm
down
just
fully
guessing the
yet, it's probably
measurements
gonna be about
now,
a
he
quarter
says.
cup. So
It's
I'm
like he
gonna
came
use
up with this
one of
on the
those.
spot. Like, it's like he's never done this recipe before.
It might end up being a third.
He just thought this would be a good idea after he, like, got really high or something.
Alright. Actually, while we wait for that butter to melt, we can also...
Wait
then
till you
take
see what
the
happens to the
jacket
butter.
and throw it in the dry stuff, just like that. Alright, so...
Look,
once
he fucking burned the butter! Not only did he put glassware on a stovetop, but he burned the fucking butter! And now it looks like dehydrated piss. Good job, Jordan.
your butter is melted, you'll have, you know, a small amount or whatever it is that you ended up making. It did end up being about a quarter of a cup, so perfect. That is exactly how much powder was
Yeah, I don't know what
prepared. This is
compelled
probably
him
a
to
good time
film
add
this.
in
I
maple syrup
just...
as well. So
No,
however
Cryo's gonna
sweet
be
you want it
foaming
to
at the mouth by the end of
throw
this.
a little
We
dab
did
of
check,
beer,
it's at least
something
real
like that.
maple syrup.
And then you take the powder and you just throw that in.
Just throw cocoa powder into maple
let's see,
syrup.
I have okay, I have one of these guys, you know, that you stir your coffee with or whatever. So I'm just gonna take that.
If he doesn't even have a mixer or a mixing spoon,
And, there's a
so he's
chunk
not even using the
out
correct
here.
equipment.
Break up. If you need
How
to, you can
unprepared
also
were
grab
you?
a
He didn't even know how he was gonna stir it.
Scoop the sides down, in case there's any powder stuck on the side. Yeah.
I'm telling you, this video is absolutely fucking insane, and it's not rage bait. He did this 100% earnestly.
And then, that's probably good.
Probably good.
Just go into
It's like we probably measured it right,
mixed
even
in
though we didn't
well,
do
so
it at
just
all.
Looks like a,
I doubt
you
he
know, like the
washed his
chocolate river
hands.
from Willy Wonka, but like in a cup.
Yeah, so like not like chocolate at all then.
Important. So actually, the best thing.
So
to
here's how he's
pour
gonna
it
make
into
the
is gonna be
chocolate, guys.
Some kind of ice cube tray. Like a plain ice cube tray works fine. I have these ones which actually have little like strawberries and lemon things and pineapples, and that works well. But I also have this like lemon wedge shaped one, which is fun. So
Oh, how
we're gonna use
nice.
that for this particular batch. And then we just pour it right in here.
So he's not like doing anything else to it. He basically just made cocoa powder
Then,
water.
The easiest part.
It is
of the
just
entire
freezing
thing,
it like ice
this actually
cubes.
wasn't crazy easy.
And he thinks
You
that's
wanna
making
put it in the
chocolate!
freezer for about half an hour for it to get nice and cold and solidified. So let's do that now. Bada bing.
The best part is when he has to try to pretend it
And that's
tastes
it.
good.
We're gonna wait 30 minutes and check back here soon.
Like he just made shitty, watery, hot chocolate and put it in the fucking freezer.
All right, so a couple hours later, I know I said 30 minutes, but like then I did other things. So either way, once it's done,
And now it took
this is
3
the
hours instead of 30
easiest
minutes like he
grand
said.
finale. And I probably don't have to explain anything more. But
Just watch
get a
his
bowl of
face
something.
as he tries to
So,
sell that
you
it
know,
tastes
pop them
good.
out. They are going to be completely frozen at this stage. Once you've popped all of them out, you can let them cool down for a little while.
Here
and
goes the
they
money
will
shot.
Keep their form, or just eat them cold and.
Yeah, that totally looks like it tastes
Cheers.
good, Jordan.
Best chocolate ever. Hands
Yes,
down.
his fridge is blocking the
You'll
door.
never want
Why is
store-bought chocolate
what
again.
is
Where
this?
if you go and compare,
Why is your
like, go and
kitchen
buy a
arranged
Hershey's
this
or whatever
way?
And make some of these and just try them side by side. You're gonna be like, I am never buying store-bought chocolate. I'm just making this.
Do you guys see? Do you guys see now why I'm fascinated by this man? He is a lol cow. He's just not a lol cow that's talked about very often. Let's get some supers before we continue.
Forbidden sent a super chat. I indie cartoon. Ara, if you please.
Ara. I have this thing about indie cartoons. They're constantly stammering, and once you hear it, you can't unhear it.
At Super Easy Walker sent a super chat. Better or worse than ordinary sausage?
Ordinary sausage is doing it as a bit. This wasn't a bit! Even though it comes across like a comedy sketch. It's like the same preternatural ability to be hilarious that Chris Chan has, to be just hilarious by accident. Like, you couldn't write a skit this good. You know? That's the fucking fascinating part here. Okay. Now, of course, we have to go to what we're all here for, before we explore the rest of this channel. His Charlie Kirk videos. Videos! There is two! There is two of them! 11 months ago, so he uploaded this, like, almost immediately after, the assassination. So, that's very tactful, Jordan. This is real. I said, there isn't a single spiritual belief in the world that Jordan won't believe and try to, like, mix into his spirit science monolithic ideology. He believes every single religion at once, so of course he thinks he can channel the dead.
At Plasmamu sent a super chat. I will apologize for the hate crimes. I will commit on this man for his cooking.
You're about to show up at his house with an axe. You're gonna kick in that door and knock the refrigerator over? I don't know, man. I've said before, Jordan feels like someone who started out Christian, picked up all this new age woo-woo shit, but was always still just kind of a conservative evangelical Christian deep down. Now that's just coming back out. So he's basically an evangelical Christian grifter with a woo-woo new age spiritualism veneer on, I guess. So, yeah, so I haven't actually watched these. I think I scrubbed through this looking for, thumbnail fodder. And, Jordan tries to be kind of a Quirk McChungus on this channel, and he's not good at it. So it's gonna be cringe. We're in the middle of the video, though, so,
You know, hey.
Oh god, he's getting emotional, guys. Oh god. And he's still so, like, god, he's so fucking quiet. Can I do... Let's put voice boost on. So there's these new options on YouTube, voice boost or stable volume in case a video has bad audio. Though it keeps putting the voice boost on mine and, like, drowning out my music. Like, I add music to my videos very particularly. Damn it, but let's see if that helps. Otherwise I'll have to just boost him over on OBS.
Hey, thank you very much for checking out this video. Better. I want to share a story with
At Hurtworks sent a super chat. Took Weird Charlie Kirk a little too literally.
Right? So, okay, if he's a little too loud, tell me, but, so I boosted his voice via YouTube, so hopefully that'll work. With
you of something that happened to me very personally in the last couple of days.
So I'm just gonna play mine.
It's honestly probably a little bit crazy and strange, maybe to some, and it was strange
to
even
everyone.
For me. I understand how sensitive this subject and this whole situation is.
Do you?
And I had an experience as a part of it that was kind of shocking. Now, to be honest, the last couple of days, I've really been trying to figure out and wonder if I should share this and what I would say, and yet every part of me, and even the...
I mean, he at least had the sense to take the Emma Watson video down. If you don't know, Jordan once did a shitload of ayahuasca, and he came away with it with the idea that Emma Watson was Lady Jesus. He removed that video, I think, because he realized how embarrassing that was.
The experience I had of Charlie himself said, please share this. This is really important to do. So I want to take some time here to talk about what happened on September 10th, shortly after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Before I begin, I also want to say that this is the truth of my experience. This is just what happened. And please have your own experience while watching this. You don't necessarily have to believe.
My experience will be being very skeptical of whatever you say, because you're just... The interesting thing about Jordan is, he is a grifter. He is a cult leader in the making. But I do think he buys his own bullshit on some level at the same time. Like, I think he does think he's an important spiritual guru who has, like, magic powers. I think he does believe that. But I think he's also a grifter on top of that at the same time. People like this, they're really good at doublethink, you know?
That what I went through was actually the highest, greatest truth and reality, but this is what took place. I want to start by saying, leading up to this event, before this took place, in the last couple of days before then, I have been really going through it. I've been having a really difficult time with some personal challenges in my own life, and I have been taking a lot of personal time to reflect and to meditate.
Have you started to realize maybe this is all nonsense?
Going on. And so then when my friend shared the link and told me what happened, you know, probably 30 minutes after the assassination and it was going viral, he showed me the video and I saw, you know, as many people probably have, the scene of him getting killed and how completely brutal it was. And it really hit me. It hit me.
Jordan, are you sure this wasn't some kind of psychotic traumatic response? I mean, there are scientific explanations for the things you might experience that need to be ruled out before you go, it's ghosts.
In a deeper way, like that triggered something for me, because for a very, very long time, I had had this thought something similar could actually happen to me, knowing that I was kind of...
I mean, sometimes the things you say, Jordan, makes me do want to shoot you in the neck, but I don't think anybody actually would.
In a controversial position, and I was talking about, you know, science and spirituality and trying to unify the whole world around a common, higher understanding of the world and the way that things work. And I thought, if I had continued to grow in popularity and I had been doing some public speaking or...
So yeah, a lot of this is the ego. He's probably a bit of a sociopath, to be honest, you know?
At Boo Trash sent a super chat, Jordan and his JoJo's stand. Charlie Kirk.
He's just gonna show up with the ghost of Charlie Kirk behind him.
At Sketchy Wolf Girl 9564 sent a super chat. Special is as special does. It just went too far in his case.
I don't know, he would fit right in with the crazy TikTok psychics out there, to be honest. I wonder if he is on TikTok.
Talked at a big event or
He'd
something
probably
like that.
do well over
Maybe
there.
something like that could happen to me, and I might be killed in broad daylight. And so when I saw that happen to Charlie, someone who I actually recently made a video talking about, or I spoke about in this one video, maybe I'll put a link here, about my thoughts on the abortion argument and Charlie's responses and conversations in his Surrounded video that he did.
That's the video I took this from, so I guess we will watch that next, after the Charlie Kirk ones.
A couple months ago. It just really hit me, and I felt somewhat connected with him, and I was just... I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm the main character of the universe, so this affected me personally.
It really, I kind of exploded with emotion in sorrow for, you know, probably the same thing as what so many people felt when they saw it.
Are you sure this wasn't a...
And so
I mean,
are
you sure this wasn't a traumatic response to watching pretty brutal footage of somebody dying? I mean... It isn't a pleasant clip to watch. I have seen the entire thing, because I'm morbid like that, but... Yeah, man, dude was dead before he hit the ground. It's fucked, but, like, are you sure you didn't have some traumatic response and this is how you cope?
I had to just take some time and be with that, too, on top of everything, and I went for this long walk. And when I got home, I was still
Why did you go for a walk? Someone could have shot you!
In meditation here, and I'm just gonna be... Just let all of the energy pass through and let myself come back to a slightly more centered, grounded place. And then something very interesting happened, which was that as I was sitting there, deep in meditation, I suddenly saw Charlie.
Banded down on Twitch saying Jordan's bizarre adventure. He suddenly saw Charlie Kirk floating over him while he was in bed. Is that what he just said? Again, he is a grifter, but I also think he kind of believes this.
Was that as I was sitting there, deep in meditation, I suddenly saw Charlie. And it was like my third eye just was
a maladaptive
really open.
daydream.
I don't mean I just saw him like I was imagining him. I mean, like, even with my eyes open, a vision of him appeared right in front.
Visual hallucinations exist. I had to have this conversation with my friend Celeste once. where she said she heard a voice calling her name when she was in the restroom at work. And she was like, the restroom at work is haunted. And I said, Celeste, you are chronically sleep deprived, which often causes auditory hallucinations. And the most common auditory hallucination is hearing your name called. And she was like, yeah, but ghosts, though. We're basically Ryan and Shane.
In front of me. And he was like, hi. And I was like, what is happening right now? Is this, am I going crazy? Am I delusional? What?
I mean, you believed it when you thought you saw Emma Watson come to you and say she's Jesus, so.
What is happening? And I also, at the same time, didn't want to say, I'm just making this up, because what if this was really him, and this was his soul coming and talking to me right after
Why would he talk to you?
The event. And he said, yeah, no, I'm dead. I'm dead. And I'm like, why are you here? Why are you talking?
He said, sup, bro, I'm dead. Yo, random Canadian man I've never met. I'm dead.
To me. And we started talking, and then I said, wait, hold on, sorry, I need to get like a notepad. I need to write down what it is you're saying. And it kind of became this thing.
You definitely don't sound crazy, Jordan.
No, he did ask me if I would share a message with the world of what he experienced after death and what he was seeing before he...
Oh, for God's sakes, he is just a fucking evangelical Christian. They love writing books about, oh, this person died and they saw heaven and then they came back and that proves it's real, and it's like, it doesn't though, it's still unfalsifiable.
He really dissolved into light, and I want to talk about all of that. And so I was scribbling notes as quickly as I could because I didn't know how much time I would have with him. So as I mentioned, as a part of all of this, I was like, why are you here? Why are you talking to me specifically? And he said very clearly, he said, in fact, I wrote it like this. He was kind of like, let me just write through you right now. And I'm a little bit wondering, do I read this in the first person or the third person of how it was?
You definitely don't sound crazy at all, Jordan. Why don't you compare that handwriting to Charlie Kirk's handwriting and see if it's his or yours?
Written, but he basically said that he's choosing me.
Imagine you die, and you're trying really hard to send a message to your family, you know, across the planes of existence, and this guy is the one who ends up coming through, and you're just like, oh, fuck.
To communicate this because of my clarity of connection between the higher and the lower worlds. Because I've spent a lot of time in mystic prayer and ceremony and have been out of body a couple of times.
Been on a shit ton of drugs.
Because I also create a lot of content in the world, and I can publish information and, you know, reach a lot of people. And so I guess I was a good candidate.
So wait, am I a spiritual guru because I've put, like, out 1,000 gaming videos? I was looking at my gaming playlist the other day, I was like, there's over 1,000 videos in here, Jesus Christ!
Or maybe one of his guides or angels or beings that he met on the other side maybe brought him to me. I'm not sure about that, actually. And so then I started asking him questions, and it kind of became an interview for a little bit. I'm like sitting there in meditation being like, okay, and then what about this? As we were getting to know each other, one of the things that he described as he was finding me and seeing, I guess, I don't really know how he would be visualizing it, but in finding me, he said this, and I'm a little bit
He's basically, Jordan's like, I am just such a shining beacon of spiritual enlightenment that Charlie Kirk saw me all the way across the afterlife and came over to talk to me.
Hesitant to say this at all, although I think it's right to share. It's just that he was very complimenting of me, and I don't want to have this energy of like, he said I was amazing. But he kind of did. He said I was amazing.
Charlie Kirk came to me in meditation and said, I am the specialist, bestest boy in the entire world, so that must mean I am. Like, how many people want to take the word of Charlie Kirk on anything? Like, why is this the celebrity you have chosen to call you the specialist boy, Jordan? Why are you such an American conservative when you fucking live in Canada? It's like the same thing with Lily. Like, what the fuck?
Amazed by your impact to the light of the souls of the world.
I mean, look how you're dressed. Charlie Kirk would have probably called you a faggot. I mean...
And, you know, he kind of described that one of the things that he discovered and realized on the other side so quickly was that the impact that he was having was not as impactful as he actually wanted it to be. Because even though he was, a very profound public speaker and an excellent debater, oftentimes...
This is reminding me of the video where Jordan just, like, tap danced around admitting to being an anti-vaxxer. Like, he got just up to the line of admitting it and then darted away. And it's just like, he really can't keep that mask on anymore, can he?
Times his dialogues or his debates and his whole thing was having fights with people and challenging people, and it was very conflicting in its nature. And one of the things that he told me was he was amazed about how my energy was more about just lifting up the light of the souls within, rather than I'm right and you're wrong kind of thing. And that...
Did you guys feel uplifted when he put that fucking glass measuring cup on a stovetop? Did you feel uplifted? I mean, I felt uplifted right out of my seat, screaming at him to not do that.
Was very moving to me, but again, you can see why I was kind of nervous to share it. But
yeah, Charlie Kirk was the
led to him saying
masturbator,
why he was choosing me to communicate all of this was just, again, because of my clarity of connection.
I think I'll take supers between the Charlie Kirk videos. But you know what? He is fucking rambling. I'm going... Oh, that's the quality, not the speed. Where am I going? I'm just gonna speed him up a little bit.
A lot of people. So then he also started saying, wow, like, he was amazed that in this higher world, everything was so much more expanded and connected than he ever possibly knew before. In fact, he said very specifically, and I had to write this.
So are you like converting him after death like the Mormons do to people? It's like, oh, Charlie Kirk died and he became a New Ager?
Verbatim. He said, a lot of the things I believed in were not correct because everything is so much more expanded and connected. And there is more nuance in a lot of the conversations that he was having. And we started to talk about some of the
Now, is he saying that Charlie Kirk died and is now woke? Because he saw all the, like, spiritual mumbo-jumbo Jordan believes in? Again, of all the fucking people to talk about. I mean, I think part of this is for clicks, but again... Jordan's a strange creature. I think he does do some things consciously, like, in a crafty manner, trying to draw people in. But at the same time, I think he actually believes this shit. And he actually believes he's, like, powerful. You know? This is why he fascinates me. I still don't know what, like... I still don't know what childhood injury led him here. When he was 19, he had a spiritual awakening, and he's been doing this ever since. You know, I think he's like in his late 30s now, so...
Specifics, because he was very firm on a lot of very specific subjects.
Woke Kirk is his Wario counterpart. Oh, God.
Before. And as we started to go through some of them, one of the things that we discussed was, it actually might be better not to get into those things on this video. Ultimately, everybody has to come up with their own understanding of the...
I just realized all the things I wrote down to say here might not sound good, and now I'm waffling. That's what it sounds like to me.
Way that things are. And what happened to him was not right at all. But it was also still very interesting to me to hear him not necessarily going back on his old views, but also realizing that there was a higher truth that was available. And if he had had access to that information beforehand...
Yeah, converting someone after they die is some psycho cult behavior. Like I said, he isn't... I don't think he's one yet. I wouldn't call Jordan a cult leader yet. But I do think he's a cult leader in the making. And people need to be very cautious of him.
Some of the things that he stood for or would have talked about would have actually...
Oh, Weak Freak, we're in the middle of him talking about how he totally talked to Charlie Kirk after Charlie Kirk died. And Charlie Kirk said, wow, spiritualism sure is great. I was wrong about a lot of things. So now he's saying Charlie Kirk got based after death or something. I don't know.
Actually been different. So then from there, we were talking...
It's weird, because he's kind of a follower. Like, he goes to all these grifty... like, drug retreats. Like, he goes to these spiritual retreats that cost, like, thousands and thousands of dollars, where all it is a bunch of white people just getting high on controlled substances that are set aside for, like, spiritual rituals.
I was like, I don't know, how much time do I have with you here? And we weren't exactly sure. But
Maple Jim Jones, yeah.
I just started asking him, like, what are you seeing? Like, what does it look like over there, right? And he said, it's beautiful. heavenly. He said, imagine oceans and rivers of luminescent light and color. And one of the things that he kind of described was that he was in, imagine like here's the earth, and then,
Yeah, Betty White's dead. Why couldn't you channel her? Come on, Jordan.
or like the top of a part of the earth plane, and then here's a part of the astral, but then it goes up really, really, into a cosmic beyond. And so right when he died, he was right in this plane here, but that he was going up to a greater reality for a time, or a higher world.
So not only did Charlie Kirk change all of his views after he died, he's now ascending on the astral plane, okay?
World, or a heavenly realm for a time. I often would call it the astral in my Spirit Science videos. And for those who are interested, I'll
I was
throw out
joking,
we have our Christ
Jordan!
Consciousness series. And there's this one video, I'll put a tag here, The Science of Christ Consciousness, that actually explains how
Mad Lad is saying the homemade chocolate will be his flavor aid! And hey, based cult knower, it wasn't actually Kool-Aid, it was Flavor Aid.
how those different dimensions work. And a lot of what he said matched my understanding and research and my cosmic experiences of that, those planes of existence. So then, one of the things he said was, describing those higher worlds, he said that he's going up to a higher world soon, and that as he does, parts of his personality, parts of his human identity is going to dissolve a little bit because he's going beyond. But he's
So you're basically saying when we all die, we're gonna lose who we are and what makes us unique, okay?
hanging
Great!
out for a little bit here to say goodbye to the world that he's leaving behind. I remember actually
Young girl Mel, we're referring to the Jonestown Massacre where the cult leader eventually made all of his followers drink poisoned Flavor Aid. That's where the term drinking the Kool-Aid comes from, like you're drinking the Kool-Aid when you're buying in too deeply to some bullshit. But it wasn't actually Kool-Aid, it was Flavor Aid.
in this, I asked him, I said, well, again, you're coming here and you're talking to me, and this is amazing, and I'm honored that you're talking to me, but like, can you go and talk to your family? Can you see or visit your loved ones, or,
At least you thought of
parents,
this.
or anybody, your friends?
They're not spiritually
And
enlightened
I remember
enough.
He actually went, okay, wait, let me go and check. And he sort of flew off for a little while, and then I was alone, and I thought, okay, maybe that's it. Maybe he's gonna see some other
Maybe
people.
my
And then maybe
hallucination is
10 or
over.
15 minutes later, he came back and he said, no, they can't see me right now. And there's so much grief and heartbreak and shock and everything. They can't see me. And so you're the only person, or one of the people, human people.
His family was just too upset to see his ghost, otherwise they totally would have been able to. But Jordan, there's lots of other psychics in the world, or at least people who claim to be psychic like you do. Why wouldn't he go to any of them as well? You just happen to be the biggest glowy boy on the astral plane because you're just so spiritually enlightened. Is that it?
Well, I can talk to right now. And I went, huh, okay. And then I thought, and I asked him, well, could you, maybe tonight, can you visit them in their dreams? Maybe that would be a thing. And he was like, yeah, maybe I'll try that. And I never got a confirmation, of course, whether or not he
Well, thanks for the advice, Jordan. I'll go visit my family in their dreams. What the fuck is this? Why are you telling us this? You're just writing fan fiction about Charlie Kirk.
was able to do that later because it was, a day had passed. Maybe he did. And how beautiful if that was the case. So then, after he came back, we talked for a little while longer. And it did seem like he was starting to dissolve into light. And in our conversations, a couple of the things that I wrote down was he wanted to say, everything's okay. Even though this is a major tragedy that for him...
I feel so much better about the world now to hear that the ghost of Charlie Kirk assured us that everything will be okay. That's definitely comforting, Jordan. Thank you.
And what he was experiencing was he was free. That he was luminescent.
It's weird. Jordan doesn't use Mormonism a lot. I've never heard him, directly use it. Like, he throws even Scientology into his bullshit, like with body thetans and stuff. But I've never really heard him use Mormonism that much. It's interesting.
He was happy being in the fullness of his soul, and being able to travel this cosmic astral plane that was filled with joy and light and magic rivers and everything. He's like, this is okay. And I asked him, and I said...
Mad Lad says, is he gonna shift into the Harry Potter dimension and talk to Emma Watson?
But, aren't you sad? And he said, it's an interesting thing. On one level, again, there's all this, his soul just being expansive. There's a lack of sadness in that. But then he also has a sadness
I'm just gonna turn him down for a bit. He's not Christian, but he works in a lot of Christianity into his New Age woo-woo shit. So I honestly think Jordan was raised Christian, got into this New Age stuff, but never really stopped being Christian. And now he's just like parroting a bunch of American evangelical stuff, even though he's Canadian. It's so bizarre.
Because I understand how things really work. Though I understand my family is sad, but also I know that we're
he thinks he's channeled the ghost of Charlie Kirk. There's a second video on this.
all going to be again together one day, and it's all going to be okay. In fact, he added to that, and he said, we don't really lose a loved one. We just part ways for a time. And one of the final things that he said to me
oh, wow,
before we parted ways
platitudes
was,
you'd get on a
"Please
Hallmark
tell everybody
card.
I love them."
Wow. Honestly, you should either watch my first stream or just watch his human history movie. He tries to work, like, every single religion into one big monolithic belief. It's crazy.
Sorry, this is it was a really emotional day.
I was about to say, okay, his eyes are tearing up a little bit. I was about to say, look at the lack of tears. That's a pure sociopath mimicking human emotions. But I guess he is getting the tears up a little bit.
For me too. And I felt that pain with everybody. You know, I personally, even while Charlie was alive and I remember watching a lot of his work, I always thought that,
it's not that hard to tear up on command.
I didn't necessarily agree with everything that he stood for and argued against or talked about. And yet, at the same time, I just found him to be such a remarkable human.
I mean, you're like fanboying. It's like you're having a crush. You know, if you were Tori Amos, you'd probably be talking about like how you had sex with his ghost or something.
And I really, really admired his courage for day after day standing up in front of so many people and creating conversation around things that are important, you know?
Yeah, actually, the lights make his eyes look pretty shiny here, so I don't... Maybe he didn't have tears up in his eyes. He just got at the right angle to make it look like he did. What a fucking psycho.
So I think that if we had ever met...
Well, they weren't real tears, because they didn't come out of the ducts and they didn't roll down his cheeks, and, like, his face didn't get red. His nose didn't get red. So, like, you can make your eyes watery pretty easily. Like, I can kind of make my eyes watery on command, but it's not easy to, like, cry on command.
Person, I think, even if we disagreed on whatever, we probably would have had an amazing friendship and a lot of really good...
But then again, like, if I see something really, really cute, my eyes water up, so it's not too hard for me to do.
Conversations. And so that, I thought, was going to be it. But then it wasn't. You know, he left basically for the night, and then the next morning...
Like I said, from some of the things Jordan says, it sounds to me like he's deeply conservative under all this new age love and peace bullshit.
I remember I just woke up and I was still having a little bit of trouble sleeping, so I woke up pretty early and I had some meditation, and I probably like 5:30 or something in the morning, and I was like, I'm just gonna play a video game for a little bit and just keep feeling before I get into the workday. And then I remember turning on the game, and then all of a sudden I saw him again.
His workday of recording himself spouting bullshit.
And I was like, wait, you're back? What's happening? And he said, I'm coming back to life.
Charlie, are you my boyfriend now? I have a ghost boyfriend, and it's Charlie Kirk. What is happening?
Keep feeling before I get into the workday. And then I remember turning on the game, and then all of a sudden I saw him again. And I was like, wait, you're back? What's happening? And he said, I'm coming back to life. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And I was really
Are you gonna be one of Trisha Paytas's kids?
confused. And so I was like, hold on a second. I just had to look. I opened my computer and I went on the news because I thought maybe he's not really dead. Like maybe the wound wasn't fatal, but he left his body for a time, and it was like a really extreme near-death experience.
Bro, you said you saw the video. There's no way he didn't die immediately.
And I looked online, and there's nothing about that, and he was really dead. And I was like, I should just ask you, what do you mean I'm coming back to life? And he said, I'm going to live another lifetime. I'm going to come back into this world. And I thought, oh.
See, guys, reincarnation is real because the ghost of Charlie Kirk came to me and said so. Again, guys, there's no way he doesn't believe this stuff on some level. There's no way he doesn't in some way buy into his own bullshit. If he was a pure grifter, he would be less weird.
Oh, that's what you mean. And he's like, yeah. And he kind of explained this, but then I confirmed it because this was also a match of my understanding, and I was asking him questions about it. But basically, when he went up to the higher world and the great beyond, or whatever we want to call it.
This Christian died, became a New Age spiritualist, changed all of his views, and now is being reincarnated, which is against the beliefs he had in life. Just trust me, bro.
The astral, time works differently there. So he might have been up there for what could have been years, maybe many years, I don't really know. But coming back down to this plane, only a day had passed. Because time is just different between the different dimensions. And we've talked about that as well, and I've got Spirit Science videos if you're interested, talking about time, space, and space-time, but I'm not going to get into that here. But essentially, yeah, time is different in different dimensions. And so he may have been gone for a really long time, but he was coming back for just a moment, and part of his personality was still there, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to be coming back, and I just wanted to let you know, and I'm really excited. And I was like,
Jordan's getting you so worked up, you comboed your rhythm game, awesome.
Time works, but maybe if 20 or 30 years goes by and we see another person who is acting similar to Charlie Kirk, let's see if he does the same kind of things, you know, showing up. Maybe that's him, and it's sort of a reincarnation. Again, this was just the truth of my experience, and
because if you reincarnate, you're gonna have the exact same personality you had in your previous life. Like, even though the circumstances of where you're born and who you're raised by will be a big determining factor in your personality. What do you mean?
And then we parted ways once more, and that was that. Yeah, you know, it's been a lot the last couple of days, and I wanted to film this and produce it and share it.
Yeah, this is a lot, Jordan. This is a lot.
There's just been really a lot going on, and I also just have been a bit nervous on how to share this whole thing. So
you shouldn't have.
I just want to say,
this should have been an inside thought.
Whether you choose to believe in or disbelieve what I'm sharing, I hope that you can see where it's coming from. I'm not trying to just make light of an experience or talk about something just for the sake of
I have no idea where this is coming from, Jordan. It's very confusing.
But this really happened to me, and I was really blown away by it. And he was.
Okay, I think we're done with that. Let's do some supers.
At Hurtworks sent a super chat. This whole thing, it's all about me.
This whole thing, all of it, it's all about me.
At Belonic111 sent a super chat. Jordan buys into his own supply for sure.
Yeah, it's this weird cognitive dissonance where he's also a grifter. It's so strange.
At the _space frog sent a super chat. Oh wait, this is how Mormonism was founded.
I mean, basically, this is how cults start, guys.
At Sketchy Wolf Grill 9564 sent a super chat. Bro is at the bottom of the list on Shark Tale. At Miss Jasmine 305 sent a super chat. Latex. What crazy shit has Jordan done now?
Well, by now you know. So there we are.
At Miss Jasmine 305 sent a super chat. Jordan and Ant gotta share that meme. Get in there and make it about you.
Maybe I need to make a Jordan
emoji,
a Jordan
emoji.
Version of it.
At Direwolf181 sent a super chat. Bad enough his wife exploited his fate, but Jordan?
I know, like, I'm starting to think Erica Kirk is the one who, like, hired the assassin at this point. Like, holy shit, lady.
At Ed Stevens 5542 sent a super chat. Charlie Kirk in the afterlife. Should I talk to my wife who had my kids or a random Canadian I don't know? Musical notes emoji. Oh Canada. Musical notes emoji.
Well, he said, like, his family was just too upset to see him.
Jordan's cult. 3/10. If I'm not flushing out brains to stuff sunflowers into fresh cow skulls, then how do I connect to the Akashic record? At Dr. Lizard Brain sent a super chat. It's woo-woo BS time.
It sure is, coupled with just some other things. I don't know what to expect from some of these videos.
At the _space frog sent a super chat. If I was to lie about getting a visit from the afterlife, I would have at least gone with Betty White, someone fun. Mr. Rogers, Alex Trebek, come on.
I mean, maybe he did this for hits.
Hurtworks sent a super chat. Charlie came to me and said my religion was correct and I was super smart and I was really cool and pretty eyes and then we prayed.
Yeah, right? That's what this whole thing was.
He had a dream about Kirk. Yeah, sure. And I had a dream with Gregory Rasputin teaching me how to be good at persuasion.
I mean, did you just fall asleep during your meditation?
At Freak sent a super chat. Even 60th hippies would say this is all too dumb.
I'm sure he'd call himself an indigo child or something. And
At Direwolf181 sent a super chat. Being way too nice to think Eric agreed at all.
I know, right?
At Weak Freak sent a super chat. Jordan is the type of guy who falls for all the scams coming his way and he's still unaware that he fell for most of them.
Well, like I said, he gets scammed by other woo-wooers, I think, because he goes to all of those expensive spiritual retreats where a bunch of white people just do ayahuasca, throw up, and then flail around on the ground hallucinating.
Ed Clyde Alburn sent a super chat, had a bit of meditation who phrases it like that.
I know, it's weird. It almost sounded like he said medication, too, which I think you should be on.
At Ed Stevens 5542 sent a super chat. Are we supposed to get out of reincarnation, not back in?
I don't know. I don't know what version of reincarnation he believes in. You know, is it the kind where you reincarnated until you're perfect and go to nothingness, or which is it, Jordan? Do we just reincarnate all the time? Can you just choose to do it? And you're saying Charlie Kirk is choosing to? Is it like fucking what dreams may come rules? I don't know. So let's see what the dimensions of Charlie Kirk is. He did this one a month later, so let's see.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I wanted to make a follow-up video to the last one that I posted, and to start, I really want to say thank you to everybody for so many loving and kind comments. The thing was I wasn't really sure if I should actually talk about this again or just move on and make something else. But after this past week and seeing so much response from everybody coming in, and some of the things that I was reflecting on and some of the questions that you were asking, I thought maybe it would be wise to at least do one follow-up here and then move on and start making content.
Was this wise, Jordan? Was this wise? I actually ended up taking
some more notes, and I just wanted to go through the experience that I had in this past week and some of the reflections that came through. I know
No, he said China has special psychic children, and the only reason we don't know about it is because all the studies are in Chinese. That is a claim he made like 10 years ago.
I've already said that, but here we go. So the first thing
he abuses the word
in
dimensions.
many of the questions, and I think I just want to address this first, although I'm not sure that anybody who made these kinds of comments are actually...
Where does he get these gay little vests, though? I kind of want one.
You're gonna watch this video in full, but some people were saying, and this was the one that really got to me, you know, I just made this video to try and capitalize on the tragedy that took place, and I was making the whole thing up.
Yeah, yes, Jordan, yes, you were definitely capitalizing on it. Whether or not you actually had this hallucinatory date with Charlie Kirk, whether or not you think that actually happened, you were doing this to capitalize on his death, yes. Just like his wife.
And I just have to definitively
You want to be his new wife?
Absolutely not. This was an authentic experience, and even if nobody watched the video, which I was expecting would be the case, you know, most of my videos get like 1,000 views, and compared to...
Oh, I was totally expecting nobody to watch a video with Charlie Kirk in the title, with me claiming to have talked to his ghost, like, a week after he died. Nobody was gonna click on that. Totally, guys. I totally... Yeah, we're getting some really good pause faces on him. I think it's just because his face just always looks kind of wrong. I think it's because he does have, like, sociopathic eyes, you know?
To this last one, which just kind of blew up, that took me by storm. That really was a massive surprise.
No, he's saying he usually only gets 1K on this channel, so he was surprised that it blew up again when he put Charlie Kirk's name in the title and claimed to talk to his ghost.
And yeah, at the same time, you know, the overwhelming response was outstandingly positive, and I'm just really, really grateful that it was well received and that the people who were watching who really took it in could feel the authenticity of the message. Because yeah, I just felt so compelled and guided to share what really happened to me and
Maybe
what I
we should have read
experienced.
the comments.
And yeah, I am very grateful that so many people could feel that. So again, thank you. You know, some people were asking, did he ever show up again? Was there any more messages that I received? And the thing was, it was actually kind of a sort of, but it was a week later, and the thing was, it didn't...
Well, he needs the blurry monitor there, because did you see? He's reading off a script.
Feel different. And I started to think about the dimensions of our bodies of consciousness, and also what happens when we die. You see, there's actually a passage in the Upanishads, this ancient book that's profound, and it comes from India thousands and thousands of years ago. And in it, it actually describes that when we die...
Yeah, I know, and white people like you, or at least white people in the 70s you've learned all this stuff from, decided that Indian spiritualism and religion was just up for grabs, and they could just make it mean whatever they want it to.
Different parts of our body and our psyche go to different places. That our body itself returns to the soil and returns to the earth, and part of our senses return to the earth, and parts of us then, you know, our higher selves, our higher personality, our soul, go up to the beyond, wherein then we prepare to come back down at a later point, whenever and however that looks and however it is. So what it felt like in this other experience that I had with him was that it wasn't the fullness of him that was showing up like what happened right after he died, but that maybe a part of his mind, a part of his mental energy that was still lingering in the collective, dream time, or the collective astral, that lower part of the astral that I was talking about, maybe that was still available. Because
I thought he was ascending, so now he's just a faint consciousness on the astral plane in the dream time.
This brief moment where it felt like I was touching his mind, and maybe it was just a reflection in the collective consciousness of him and how he would be showing up. So then part of...
How come this doesn't happen with you and any other dead people if you're so easy to find by the afterlife?
The reason why I was thinking about this, and one thing that came through, was that in some of the comments, apparently there were some other channelers or mediums or psychics who were connecting with Charlie right after he died. And one comment was saying something like, some mediums or channelers said that he said this.
Were these people on TikTok? Again, you'd fit right in on TikTok, Jordan. You'd probably be very successful over there.
And he was really shocked and very angry. And another reflection said that he was saying this, and he was, more upset, or he was surprised, or he was liberated, or whatever it was. I don't remember all the details.
Yeah, so a bunch of people like you, claiming to be psychics, also claimed to talk to Charlie Kirk, and they all said he said different things. How are you gonna reconcile this, Jordan?
But I'll put that here on this page because I'll go and find it after. And it got me thinking and imagining, what if, when he passed, there were these different parts of him that were already starting to separate? Now, other people suggested, no, actually, that's just a demonic or a phantom of Charlie that they were connecting with, or maybe I was connecting with. And for me, it really didn't feel that way. It felt real. It felt like it was actually him. And that's all I can say. I can't definitively say one way or another. And as always, I invite everybody to...
How do you know it wasn't a demon that just made itself look like Charlie Kirk? Like, how do you know that?
Have their own experience and decide for themselves what seems or what feels to be the most true and the highest resonant actualization.
I mean, he might be on TikTok. I haven't checked. I wouldn't be surprised.
Of reality. This is a collective journey of awakening and the discovery of truth for all of us. And so each of us has to decide. And
Charlie Kirk is the key to the awakening of truth, okay.
My message and what I stand for is that each of us decides for ourselves and figures it out, and that we can collectively come to an agreement on things, but we each still have to put that energy forward and make that decision and that call as what feels the most true for each of us. So this was really cool then.
Yeah, and what's true for me is that you're a lying charlatan.
As I was taking notes, I was sitting in meditation and I was kind of feeling and maybe sort of talking to this mind of Charlie. His soul had moved on, but there was this something of him lingering in the collective imagination. And I wrote this down and I thought this was such a beautiful thing. And what I got was...
So what, are you talking to like a Jungian construct of him now? What do you mean?
But his soul was known to so many. So it would make sense that such a bright light going out in one dimension would bring so much light into the other, and then illuminate our minds and hearts from that place.
Charlie Kirk was so profound and important, he just filled the afterlife with light, I guess. Are you for fucking real, my dude? The thing he's most famous for is getting shot in the neck. A lot of people never even fucking heard of him before that.
So I think that when he died, if that makes sense, his light was here in his body, living life and inspiring and moving so many with his courage and with his faith. And so when he left his body and he emerged in the other realm, that light shone through all of us. That impact hit so many of us, and it's created a firestorm of change and awareness here in this world. And so in that then we have this idea that through his memory and through that shift and that tragedy ultimately that took place, that energy can then come alive in all of us, within and through our collective imagination. And this brings me to something that I had received from that image of him, or that mind of him, or however it is that we want to describe it. It's even a little elusive to me. Some people might just say,
get on with it!
But if that's the case, then this was an incredibly kind phantom, and I don't really believe that's the case, because usually, almost always I can tell. I've had a lot of experience.
Usually the voices in my head are very different, so I knew this was actually Charlie Kirk. You can always tell that it's not demons tricking him, guys, because he's just that enlightened.
A lot of experiences battling demons in the astral. That's just a truth of the experience that I've had in this life.
Oh, he is gonna say he's battled demons. Oh, it's another good pause face. You know what? There are weird, spontaneous bits of him being very expressive sometimes.
Mind of him, or however it is that we want to describe it. It's even a little elusive to me. Some people might just say it was a phantom or whatever, but if that's the case, then this was an incredibly kind phantom, and I don't really believe that's the case, because usually, almost always I can tell. I've had a lot of experiences battling demons in the astral. That's just a truth of the experience that I've had in this life so far.
Jordan, laying in bed having a daydream about being a cool anime hero battling demons doesn't mean it actually happened.
Some of it has come through different, like when I went to Rhythmia and I did these ayahuasca ceremonies, or a long time ago if I had like a...
Guys, I got super fucking high on psychedelics and I was totally battling real demons in the astral plane. It wasn't just my fucking brain misfiring because I overloaded it with psychedelics. Like, ayahuasca is even more powerful than LSD. I mean, for fuck's sake.
Mushroom ceremony or something like that. But sometimes it
And magic mushroom! Magic mushrooms are also more powerful than LSD.
happens, you know, through meditation. And when I'm sitting there and I'll get this like scary phantom energy coming through and I'll sit down and I'll do some mudras and I'll do some prayers and I'll transform it. And the connection with Charlie was completely different. It didn't feel like some illusion. It didn't feel like some ghost or something.
I didn't feel like I needed to pray, and he was kind of hunky and dreamy, so how do you know that's not a demon tricking you? My guy.
Evil spirit was trying to manipulate me. It felt like talking to another real human, at least in some...
I've always said I could never do psychedelics, because I wouldn't trust myself on them, and I wouldn't trust myself not to have a bad trip. And after seeing how he's turned out, I definitely don't want to do them.
way, in a really meaningful and authentic and valuable, beautiful way. And so one of the things that came through from that mind and that connection was that, and I have to quote here what I wrote, "It is a blessing that so many people are waking up to the atrocities plaguing humanity because of my death." And that I also received, he was happy to see that so many knew Charlie Kirk's...
What atrocities are plaguing humanity that Charlie Kirk was trying to warn us about, Jordan? Is it the gays, Jordan? Jordan, is it the gays?
were born, as also so many have said here in this world. That's a comment that comes up quite a lot in response to everything that's taking place. So yeah, at least in some way, you know, and this might be a diffusing energy as the collective body of his consciousness is raising up into a higher world, but maybe some part of him, the mind of him, or his energy is still available through all of us. And maybe this is also true.
We could just suck up Charlie Kirk's energy into ourselves. Wouldn't that be great?
Anybody who dies. But the difference, I think, and why Charlie has been so impactful was because so many people knew about him, whereas, you know, for you know, every day people are dying.
Just said most people hadn't even fucking heard of him until he fucking died.
Some of old age and some are killed in battle or some of disease or what have you. But for a lot of these people, they are not super well known. There's not a collective awareness about them. But one thing that I find is really amazing is that from the comments of, you know,
why wouldn't a much more famous person come to you? Like, why didn't the Queen of England come to you, you know?
So many of the comments on that last video of mine.
Why are you getting her
there
energy?
There were so many people who also said, I believe you because this happened to me too, with a parent or a loved one or a friend or someone who passed away and then they had a visitation from them. And that just reaffirmed the experience that this can happen even in smaller ways, even if someone passes on and they weren't collectively known, that soul can still come and meet people that they know immediately after passing, which is really beautiful. The last thing that I wanted to speak to, and I'll just keep this short and brief, there were some comments of people asking if I could share some more things about what I received from Charlie as far as how his views changed back when that first took place.
Well,
and
tell us, yeah.
During that initial conversation, we did start to talk about a couple of different things, but what was different. And then we very quickly, and I know I said this before in the first video, we very quickly came to the conclusion that it was still better not to get into all the details. And part of the reason was because of how that's going to come across just in general for people watching this.
I realized saying that he changed all of his beliefs and exposing which beliefs of his I agree with would be bad. So I'm just gonna completely backtrack on that and not tell you because the ghost of Charlie Kirk asked really nicely that I don't.
I would kind of look like and feel like,
well, I have
wow,
weed,
Jordan
yes.
is just, again, using this whole thing to try and reaffirm
I have a THC
his
drink
views or
today,
trying to push some kind of agenda or something like that. Ultimately, all of us have to come to a higher understanding on our own. Now, at the same time, I think what I would speak to is that, you know, Charlie described that on the other side, there was this greater universal understanding. And so, for instance, before, if his views were very focused and, you know, focused and narrow in the, say, the Christian path, which is true, when he emerged on the other side, I think one of the things that was coming across was a more universal approach, not just one religion or one pathway, but seeing how all the different beliefs kind of...
So basically, Charlie Kirk's ghost told me that my schizo mega belief that mixes every single religion and spiritual practice together is totally true. Doesn't Charlie Kirk add legitimacy to this, guys?
Can fit together, and that there's this golden thread through all of them, and there's a higher sense of unity that we all share. That
he just babbles words when he wants to sound profound. It works on some people somehow.
Brings us together as a people, as a humanity, and that if all of us can reconcile within ourselves the different views and the different ways of thinking, then maybe we can all come a little bit closer to our hearts and come a little bit closer to each other, and we can overcome the dualities.
I don't want to come anywhere near
so
you,
I think
Jordan.
I want to bring this video to a close. I'm going to say thank you very much again, everybody, for watching. Moving on from here, I want to start making... I mean, there's a lot of different things that I want to talk about. There's things going on in the world that are really significant and meaningful and subjects that I want to talk about. And then there's also just fun things or funny things or memes or things that I laugh about that uplift the spirit or just like funny and maybe even reviews of like movies or video games or things that I'm just interested in personally. So I'm just going to bounce all over the place. As far as this channel goes and types of...
If you've done any video game or movie reviews, then you're Wednesday fodder, Jordan.
Content that I make. If you go back and watch my older videos, you can see I've kind of been all over the map a little bit, but it has also been very focused. But also, even though I'm very spiritually minded and I put a lot of effort and intention into different spiritual subjects and collective unity and healing and world peace and all of these things, I also am a human, and I love laughter and spending time with friends, and I do enjoy pop culture and movies and memes and games.
Why are those things mutually exclusive with being spiritually enlightened, Jordan?
And so, yeah, just, tune in. If you see my videos pop up on your feed and you want to see what's on my mind, thank you for tuning in and leaving comments, and I love you so much. Oh, the last thing is lately I've kind of...
Yeah, and he only has 64.2 subscribers. K subscribers on this channel. He has like over 1 million on his main channel, and he gets worse views than me. So, that tells you something about how people think about him as a person.
I've gotten into this habit where like once a day for like 5 or 10 minutes, I'll go on my Instagram and I'll just look at really funny things and I'll put them on my story. And I don't know if this is going to last forever, but if you're interested, you can find me.
Oh my god!
Tag, probably Jordan David
You're
Rivers,
so quirky!
Like and you can find me on Instagram and just tune in once a day. There's plenty of stuff to laugh at all over the map. Some are ridiculously bad and some are just...
Please guys, watch my videos, go to my Instagram, but please guys, I feel the relevance slipping out of my fingers. Guys, please! And what are the comments on this one? I sort them by new. Jordan River, Charlie Kirk, having chosen you to be the person whom he manifested to and interacted with, he must have sensed a genuine spiritual essence within you. Why is Charlie Kirk like suddenly an expert on these things? Charlie Kirk's philosophy on abortion would win me over a spiritual perspective rather than a religious perspective. Okay. Brother, I believe you. However, according to God's word, you were visited by a deceptive fallen angel. Like I said, how does he know it's not a demon? Your authentically shines bright. Thank you, brother. This is the kind of people he attracts. I think Charlie found out that biblical religion is man-made when you said he remarked that he was wrong about some things. It's really all about love and free will that we were given at this school called Planet Earth. It's all just a play, and we are the actors learning as we live in this temporary vessel on this stage. Party popper emoji. You are a good boy, your heart is full of love, this is why he was able to talk with you. Always remember, we are a soul having the human experience, not in reverse. Yeah, this is his fan base. These are the people that, don't get weeded out by the deliberate misspellings in spam emails.
At Dr. Lizard Brain sent a super chat. The glazed look in Jordan's eyes is one of a person high on their own farts.
Yeah, he is definitely an egomaniac. There's no doubt about that.
At Weak Freak sent a super chat. Go watch creepypasta vids while high, Jordan. I'm dying to hear what you might see.
No, don't tell him to do. He'll work it into it. He'll work like creepypastas into his religion.
Frog sent a super chat. Should have gone W/a better Kirk, William Shatner.
Did he die? I thought he was still alive.
At Befuddled C1G sent a super chat.
Thank you! I'm sorry your message is blank. So, yeah, so this was the video he was talking about that he did before, which made him feel attached to Charlie Kirk, and it's about abortion, I think? So, Let's see what the fuck Jordan River has to say about abortion, and let's see how much his mask of progressive spiritualism is going to slip in this one. I'm definitely gonna speed him up again, though. At least 1.25. He babbles so fucking much. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Shatner's alive. It was Nimoy that died.
Hey, I wanted to record a really quick intro.
It'd be funny, though, if Shatner comes and he's like, what the fuck? I'm not dead. Why are you seeing me? Stop it.
Murdered! Since then, some big things happened. Hey, I wanted to record
It popped back to the area where I got my screenshot from. Anyway, let's see what he has to say about this topic.
Intro to this video. I actually filmed this about a month or a month and a half ago.
Hey, thanks for
and
the
it was a
gifted.
follow-up to the video that I made called Pro-Life versus Pro-Choice.
Oh god, now do I have to go back to that one now?
Now, since then, some big things happened in my life, and I didn't publish or finish editing this video for quite a while, and then everything happened with Charlie Kirk, and I made that video about him. And the reason that that's significant is because in this pro-life...
Oh, this isn't the one. This is a follow-up to that old one. Okay, maybe we'll watch the first one first, then.
A Dutch Tunikit official sent a super chat. I need him to work Slenderman into his religion.
Slenderman is actually one of Lucifer's fallen angels.
Greetings, salutations.
But also, something... Oh god, this one's fucking half an hour goddamn long. Maybe we will not watch the entire thing, but let's get at least get an idea. What are the chapters called? Oh god, was it automatic chapters? What the fuck? Okay, abortion is murder. What is a soul? What is Anna? Heart versus soul. Is it like Kingdom Hearts, where hearts are like souls but not souls? Natural healing, a conversation. My story. If only you were aborted, Jordan. Anyway, we might skip around this one.
And top of the morning to you, laddie. Today, I want to tackle some really big, challenging topics in the collective. And so, as you can probably tell by the title of this video, that is the subject. However, before I get started, I have to make a comment that today, I feel like I don't look super great. My parents came over in the last week, and I ended up having a lot more wine than I normally do, and so I feel a little dehydrated.
My parents came over, so I had to get really, really drunk. I mean, you don't look much different than you do in any other videos, but he's trying to be a Quirka McChungus.
Hydrated and kind of like underslept, and I feel like I got these bags under my eyes. So I'm just calling that out in advance, but I feel great in recovery and having lots.
I'm totally recovering now. My parents came over, and it made my alcoholism rear its ugly head.
It's water. Cheers. Jordan, you absolutely should not be so hard on yourself, man. You look fine. Yeah, but I look like a wrinkly potato. You could go with shriveled raisin, cause you're so sweet. Oh, shucks.
Now he's flirting with himself. How often do you think he does this off camera?
Anyway, now let's talk about some real serious thingamabobs. Now, in the last couple of weeks, I've found myself
real serious thingamabobs. What a way to talk about abortion.
Seriously interested in a series by Jubilee here on YouTube called Surrounded, where they take 20 of some kind of people having like a debate, like a roundtable debate with someone else. So one really interesting one was 20 atheists versus Jordan Peterson. And then there was that congresswoman versus 20 feminists, which was also very interesting. And then
you get that congresswoman. Could you at least have like prepared? Here he's going to talk about Charlie Kirk, his crush.
And just as an example, let me share with you a quick clip.
The thing that you're aiming for is less abortion, right? Well, or at least no abortion.
Eventually, it's also a protection of those that can't protect themselves. But yes, and that's why after the reversal of Roe versus Wade, we saw abortions go down dramatically in Texas, Alabama, Mississippi.
I don't think a lot of that is true.
Well, it is, but
it's not true, because when
they went down because you couldn't do them anymore, you dumb motherfucker. What is that supposed to mean? Well, when we banned abortion, there were less abortions happening on the record. Is this one of these like where you corner a conservative who's against contraception because it's like, okay, if you want there to be less abortions, why are you against contraception? And they never have a very good answer for that.
you make abortion illegal, it doesn't actually decrease the amount of abortions that happen.
That's a nice talking point. In Texas, the numbers show differently. The birth rate has gone up.
Yeah, legal goes down, but illegal abortions still happen. Abortions still happen outside of whatever data you're showing.
That's not true, but let's just say.
And another clip.
Yes, it is! God, good God, he was a moron. No, it's it's totally not like women always have gotten abortions even when it's illegal. You know, a great risk to themselves. It's not like that's always happened. And you're just like, you gotta kill people. Because you hate the idea that a woman should be allowed to stop a biological process happening in her own body.
Do you think it would be a good thing if we had less abortions in America?
It depends on the context. Like, are the abortions prior to sentience?
Yes,
because I
all
think,
abortions.
No, it would not be necessarily
are
better
you against
unless it is the
late-term
case that the people didn't want the abortions and it would be negatively impactful to their health, medically speaking.
Are you against late-term abortion?
After sentience, yes.
Okay, so you believe in an 8-week abortion ban?
Yeah. No, I don't. Sorry, I believe in an abortion ban after 18 through 26 weeks.
Okay, that's a more reasonable position.
Okay, so you have, like, this fucking 30-year-old man, like, talking to a fucking 18-year-old college student. Like, this doesn't seem very fair.
And I have to give you credit for that.
And then, of course, there's always this one.
No, I'm speaking. 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 No, I'm speaking.
It's like, oh, let me look at, like, the cool Chad next to these fucking 20-year-old college students who have less life experience than me. Why did you never debate anybody your own fucking age, buddy? You know? Like, you notice he's always, like, arguing with 20-year-olds? Probably because he can't fucking have a debate with anybody his own fucking age.
So one more time.
No, I'm speaking.
Got it.
Thank you.
Powerful. This is fascinating.
Isn't it funny? The people who I'm trying to appeal to are idiots. And Jordan, like young progressive 20-somethings are the people that are gonna buy your fucking crystals.
A big conversation, very sensitive, and there's a lot of heated debate and opinions on both sides. I've heard some conversations and stuff like this before, and I've tuned in and what people are saying on both sides of the field, and over, it feels like a very kind of tribal mentality. This, like, there's no common understanding, there's no middle ground, it's us versus them, I'm right and you're wrong, and you're...
Well, Jordan, it isn't I'm right and you're wrong. Either you allow abortions or you don't. Those are the only two options. Either you allow them or you don't. That's what we're debating over.
Side should be destroyed. Thank you very much. Now change your mind, because I'm the right one. You know, there's this bigger question that as I've been watching and listening and thinking about this over the years, you know, I keep coming to...
Are you gonna come in and say, can't we all just get along?
Feel like there's some missing information that actually could provide a harmonious understanding. One way of considering this from a very spirit science perspective is through the Kabbalistic tree of life. You've got these two spheres on either side that are didactic.
You heard that. He's got fucking Kabbalah mixed in with his fucking spiritual mumbo jumbo.
Opposite of each other. I hope I'm using that word right.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
You don't use any words right, Jordan, ever. You can't use the word dimension right. You can't use the word mass right. You can't use anything right.
Didactic, whatever. And yet, from the merging and fusion of those two, it's not that they cancel each other out, but a
Jordan would probably tell you he has a spiritual uterus because feminine energy or something.
New thing is made. In the same way that when a man and a woman love each other very much, they can create a new baby. And it's very interesting that then that is the example that I'm using, because this is a conversation about not having that baby, and if it's morally wrong. And I want to start also by saying, like, there's a warning in here that I am going to cover all of the bases, at least as I see it, in this particular video. So
I fucking doubt it.
there might be times where I say something that you heavily disagree with.
We're gonna be
and there might
skipping
be times
around
where I say something that you agree with fully. Because I'm going to point out what I believe is how both sides are right.
Just say you're steel-manning the arguments, buddy. People will know what the fuck you mean.
And where both sides are wrong or are missing information, so that we can actually potentially find a middle ground that creates something new and creates a higher understanding for everybody. And that's my goal in life. So yeah, the missing information that then continues to...
What did you say your goal in life was? I stopped paying attention, then he did that gay little jiggle.
Sides are right, and where both sides are wrong or are missing information, so that we can actually potentially find a middle ground that creates something new and creates a higher understanding for everybody. And that's my goal in life. So yeah, the missing...
My goal in life is to feel smarter than everybody else.
Information that then continues to unravel as I explore this more has to do with the question of what is a soul? Because there's a question of, like, well, if you are aborting a baby, the moment that it's conceived, or any time after, you are ending a life and it's murder. Actually, it even goes further than that. Like, Charlie has this one shot. He references the etymology of the word fetus.
What does fetus mean?
A fetus is in utero.
What does fetus mean in Latin?
What the f? I'm sorry, is this
It means little human being.
Ugh, the smile is very creepy.
Yeah, his smile was very creepy. He's like, what does it mean in Latin? What does it mean in Latin? I'm gonna be pedantic. Even though that is, like, irrelevant to how it's used in English today. You said this guy was a good debater? Jordan!
Okay,
Smiling is creepy?
No, your smile specifically.
Got it.
But let's go back.
A fetus, I think, by a...
Jesus, how fucking... I never actually watched any of his shit. Was he always that annoying?
modern definition is the living baby in the womb as it's growing up, potentially from the point of conception. And so then the question is, when or where in that process, or from the very beginning, do you consider that embryo to be its own sovereign being?
Something I always wonder with people like Jordan is, well, how do you feel about miscarriages then? Is a miscarriage God's will? Is a miscarriage a lost soul? Do you have a funeral for a miscarriage? You know, they again, don't really seem to have a good answer.
And this is why I asked the question, what is a soul? Because you could consider that early body is a living thing, and it's...
Yeah, Garbo says, look, Kirk was wrong anyway. It doesn't mean little person, it means offspring or brood. You know?
its own sovereign being from the moment it's a single-celled organism. At the same time, you could argue that it's a body being developed for a soul to inhabit, but the soul is not yet in there. Now, of course, we have to look...
I mean, if you go to, like, actual biblical beliefs, that is what they believe. In the Bible, it isn't, you know, oh, baby has a soul at conception, because infant mortality was pretty fucking high in the Iron Age. And in fact, if you go to the Book of Numbers, when they're doing a census of the people, they don't even count babies under 1 year of age, because there's no point. Because it's very likely a baby will die in the first year in those times. It's like how a lot of cultures won't even name a baby until it's a year old. You know, because infant mortality was so common. We live in such, like, a scientifically enlightened time, where we have a much better quality of life. It's very rare for babies to just spontaneously die in the first year of life, although it does still happen. You know, like... And you're not factoring all this into the conversation. So I love when people are like, well, the Bible says it starts at conception. It's like, it actually doesn't, though. It actually says the opposite.
At this from a dimensional perspective, being that there is a physical plane, an astral plane, a causal plane, and then beyond that, we get into the realm of the Tao, the limitless light, the infinite and boundless, the vacuum of spirit.
So he's put Kabbalah and Tao in the same belief system. This is what spirit science is to him. It's just every single religion and spiritual practice and belief in the world, and he tries to find a way to make it all mesh together. This is like an obsession of his.
In traditional Kabbalah, that's called the Ein Sof Or, the Ein Sof, and
You said it as Kabbalah?
Which, if you're familiar with Patch Tarot, you might recall are God cards, the Holy Arcana, which are attributed to those. But, again, I don't want to get too far in...
Jordan, Tarot and Kabbalah aren't the same fucking thing. Jesus Christ.
...to that conversation right now. I also know that I wrap in and weave together a lot of different spiritual teaching. So I'm going to relate to the Kabbalah, and again, the causal up to Ein is relative to the Tao, and there's a lot of other traditions that we could...
Yeah, he's just saying, like, Tao and Kabbalah are the same thing. Now, Tao is a spiritual belief I really don't know anything about, so I can't say anything one way or another. So, like, Shintoism I know some things about, Confucianism I know some things about, but Tao I don't know fuck all about, but I'm going to guess it's not a lot like Hebrew Kabbalah.
Look at, but I also want to keep things simple because we have a bit of a focus here. I value your time very much. I don't want to use it.
If you valued my time, you wouldn't ramble, and this wouldn't be 40 fucking minutes long.
Unnecessarily, like that very bit that I just
like what you're doing right now.
Define from a spiritual and metaphysical perspective, as well as a scientific perspective, what is a soul?
I just want your definition of the soul.
And where in the body is the soul? Now, many watchers might be familiar with. There are so many ancient mystic traditions say that the pineal gland is the seat of the soul. It's also interesting that the
They
Vatican
also say it's in the stomach, and they also say it's in the chest. It can be anywhere.
has so many statues of pineal glands, or at least one. I thought they were all over the place. Now, other people believe that the
fucking pine cone, not a pineal gland.
heart is where the soul
Pineal gland is named after pine cones, you idiot.
And this is what's very interesting. When you study prana, the 5 types of prana in the body, what we receive
And now we have Hinduism, so we've had Hebrew Kabbalah, Taoism, and now Hinduism.
we find is that prana comes in from the higher self through the top of the head and the back of the head, through the medulla oblongata. It comes into the body, and then it divides into 4 other types. So there's prana, this is life force energy coming into the body. And then you also have udana, which is an upwards force that drives you into evolution. Dhyana, which is a force of, it actually is centered in the heart.
Drives us to evolution? What the fuck does that even mean? Like, you don't just evolve over your lifetime. That's not how evolution works.
And it works outward, and it powers the body and gives you the animating energy that allows your body to move. Then we have samana, which is in the belly, and that is
So it takes spiritual energy to, like, pilot our bodies? Jordan. We're powered by electrical impulses, Jordan. Ah, for God's sakes.
is the transmutative force. It's the force of digestion, but not just of food. It also digests the thoughts and conversations and feelings and experience.
You hear that, guys? You're gonna shit out all of your thoughts and feelings.
So any processing, like when you say, yeah, I'm processing something right now, that is samana at work. And then the final one is, I believe,
That's just how the brain
apana.
works.
Yeah, apana is the force of both, interestingly, excretion, the releasing of things from the body and toxins, and not just, you know, through the bottom, but also through sweat.
So that's the poop chakra then, okay?
And it also has to do, interestingly, with sexual energy. It has to do with reproduction. So all
I thought that was the Ankh, Jordan. I thought that was the Ankh.
that energy is married to or paired with or a part of apana. So apana is interesting because it actually goes in two directions at once. It releases out and it creates, I guess maybe forward might be the better way to describing it.
If the super chats won't let you type gay, type GHEY.
But it's forward and out or reproductive in the creation of new life. If we consider all of these things, we might see maybe the pineal gland is actually the seat of the soul, but the heart is the center of the human body of consciousness, which is where the dhyana is, and it's like the center point of our energy.
But that's because our center point of our energy is not the same thing as the soul. But what the fuck is the soul, Jordan?
This is why we know that when our breathing is slow and our heart is calm, our mind is clear. But there's this connection here between the left brain and the right brain and the pineal gland and the heart. And isn't it interesting, a bit of a tangent, but a very relevant one, isn't it interesting that if we
This whole
look
thing is a
at the
tangent!
symbol of Christ on the cross, where's he hanging? Where's his head? Like,
He always has to bring it. He always has to bring it back to Christianity. That's like always the overarching religion. Out of all the religions he mixes it, he always has to bring it back to Christianity. So we've had Hebrew Kabbalah, Taoism, Hinduism, and now Christianity.
this thing that I just described makes a cross, right? Like left brain, right brain, pineal gland, and
Is that the
cerebrospinal
soul?
tube,
You haven't explained that
chakra
part
column,
yet.
or whatever you want to call it, the Kundalini serpent that runs up and down the body. So that actually makes a cross image, and when Yeshua hangs on the cross, that's where the center point is. So there might be something there.
He calls him Yeshua because he's a fucking hipster.
So that kind of gets me thinking. Like, again, if we're saying that it's murder to kill a
Oh right, we were talking about abortion.
pre-birth, that's murder, sure. But could it be that the soul is not actually in that body until the pineal gland is formed? And again, I'm not coming at this perspective trying to argue
When
like
is it formed?
pro-choice. That's clearly the way. Because there's many dilemmas in here, and there's many ways where
Yeah, Jordan, I didn't expect you to be arguing for pro-choice the way you're talking, yeah.
a pro-life stance is very appropriate and proper. But also, like, there's so much nuance in this, and this is why I felt so compelled to talk about it, because it's not just so clear-cut. You know, and again, it depends on what you believe. If you believe that the heart is where the soul is, and that's that, then...
I don't believe in souls, now what?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Okay, I'm gonna have to pin that, because I want to finish this thought, but I got something that just came to me that's like, But if
Jordan, take your Ritalin.
you believe that the heart is the soul, Period. The physical heart is the soul.
I don't believe in souls, and who thinks the physical heart is the soul? Nobody thinks that.
It's all about psychedelics. It's very fun. It kind of went hand in hand with our ayahuasca movie that we made.
I also...
I accidentally skipped ahead, and he's talking about ayahuasca. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just start from here.
I have my menstruation cycle for 10 years. And they said to me, like, you're perimenopausal, like, it's not coming back. Don't worry about it, kind of a thing. Working with a shaman. And he said to me after a ceremony, he said, Lisa, you have 3 spirits in your womb, and you have...
Perimenopausal means you're in the lead up to menopause. You'll still get your period, just irregularly. What?
To release them. And I said, 3 spirits. He said, did you ever have any abortions? And I said, yes, I had 2. And he said, no, I think you had 3. And I'm like, okay, Dave. I had 2. But anyways, he said, I need you over these next few ceremonies to really pray on it and like every day meditate and tell them why you couldn't parent them and why you had to do what you did. And
so if you get an abortion, there will be a baby ghost in your womb, apparently.
The place that you were in when you did it, and try and like...
Your vagina is haunted!
Let them be at peace and go. He said, I think after they leave, your period could come back. And I was just looking at him. I had just started ayahuasca.
You were perimenopausal. You were likely to get a few irregular periods before menopause. That's what perimenopause means! And she's acting like this is some spiritual bullshit. Because some guy was like, you have 3 little baby souls in your belly.
Ayahuasca and started working with this shaman, and I was like, okay. And then I'm just hearing my addiction specialist voice, like, Lisa, just trust, just trust, just trust, just trust. And I'm like, okay.
She's like, I had a feeling this was complete bullshit, so I had to keep repeating in my head, just trust, just trust, just trust, just trust. Again, this is how fucking cults form. Let's hear your story, Jordan. Were you aborted, Jordan? Might explain a lot.
And did not want...
He was a unsuccessful abortion, so he just has no soul.
...to have me, and I think maybe there was some self-worth in there. I didn't think he was good enough.
Are you saying your parents didn't want you? Hang on a second. This would go hand in hand with you saying, my parents were over and I drank so much wine.
And did not want to have me, and I think maybe there was some...
Okay, he fucked up the chapters.
I was conceived by my biological mother.
Okay, hello.
E-I-E, which is so ridiculous. And the word that starts with R and rhymes with grape is an absolutely abomination upon this planet, and it should never happen. And just...
That's real funny coming out of your mouth, Jordan. He has sexual assault allegations.
Think, though, if that child, or if there's a child conceived from such a circumstance, then how does that energy affect the child? I have to be honest, I'm an interesting...
Are you saying rape babies will just turn out evil? What does that mean?
Example, I suppose. There's not many like me in the world in terms of how I was conceived. And many of you know this, I'll keep it brief, but I was conceived by my biological mother and father, and then my father wanted me aborted. And my mother said, no, there's a special something about this guy, and he's...
Jordan's father tried to save us, guys. Jordan's father tried to save us from all of this. He knew what was coming. He saw a terrible vision of the future. And said, we need to abort that baby. Why are you telling the internet this? Maybe his father had psychic powers, and he knew the evil he was bringing into this world. He saw how you're gonna become a cult leader when you're like 50. And he was like, I have to stop this. Well, yeah, this is very fatherless behavior, isn't it?
He's coming through, and my father was so upset about that and did not want to have me. And I think maybe there was some self-worth in there. I didn't think he was good enough, and he maybe didn't have the best childhood growing up either. And
maybe you're a demon, Jordan. It would explain everything.
So he ended up taking his own life. And it was only...
Jesus Christ! My dad wanted me aborted. My mom said no, and then he killed himself. I think we found the childhood wound, guys. I think we found it. That made him think he had a spiritual awakening at 19. Why did your mother tell you this? Yeah, cause like, when would his mother have told him this information? Like when he's 18 or 19, right? That's when you tell somebody something like that happened when they're a baby, right? If you ever tell them. So I bet his mother told him this, and that's when he had his spiritual awakening at 19. And here he is, like, fucking 20 years later, rambling on about kundalini lines and chakras and spiritual pooping and speaking to Charlie Kirk's ghost. Lady, you probably should have never told him that. Holy shit.
28 years later, in an ayahuasca ceremony, that I went and I healed. I connected with his soul. I found him trapped like in a void in space or between dimensions, feeling so upset that he had done that thing.
I think ayahuasca might be the worst thing that ever happened to you, Jordan.
No, he and I worked it out. We healed it. It's great. But I also learned in a lot of those ayahuasca ceremonies how so much of the trauma of losing him at the age of 1 month into conception affected the cells in my body.
So he killed himself before you were even born. Your mother didn't need to tell you this. Your mother really didn't need to tell you this. If I was her, I would have kept that from him for his entire life. Or my entire life, that is. Shouldn't assume your kid's gonna die before you. So, 28 years later, he was a baby for a long time. Well, see, he hallucinated his dead father on an ayahuasca trip. And that healed him, instead of... It clearly made him worse. It clearly made him very worse. Dude, I think we unlocked it. I think we unlocked the key to Jordan River. When he was like 19, his mom told him, by the way, when I was a month pregnant with you, your dad wanted you aborted, and then he killed himself because I wouldn't. Like, it must have just broken his mind. And he's been doing this shit ever since. You know? I think we found it, guys!
Before my soul was even in the body. That there was a trauma rooted in...
Yeah, men will put fucking Hindu tapestries on their walls before going to therapy.
My basic biology, locked in my subconscious.
It does make me feel a little bad for him, but also he has sexual assault allegations, so...
That I didn't heal. Or that I didn't know about for 28 years of my life. And I realized that that's where so much of, like, growing up, I often had a very low self-esteem. I was bullied a lot. You know, like, my safe place
wonder
was
why.
on the computer, at home, or at lunch hour, and school, you know, junior high and stuff, making cartoons. That was where I thrived. And I did have some friends, but I also, you know, I don't know, I was I felt like I was one of the center points of bullying. And so it was very easy for me to fall into...
You do have a very punchable face, I'm sorry to say.
...to patterns of lack of self-worth. And yet at the same time, I'm realizing that, like, part of the subconscious energy that was rooted in my body might have actually been attracting that and feeding off of it when I received it. So it just made me think worse of myself. And this is why...
Wow. He really does need to go to therapy. So, my father killed himself when my mother was 1 month pregnant with me. That infected me with evil energy that made other kids bully me in school. But it's okay, because I overpaid for a retreat where I took ayahuasca and had a drug trip and made up with my dead father. Wow. I feel like Mary's staring at Clark in therapy right now. Going, I know.
I mean, it's crazy, but like, even when I started Spirit Science and years later, people would be like, oh my god, Spirit Science has changed my life, I love it. And I'd be like, well, that's great, but I'm nothing, you know, I'm just a worthless piece of junk. And then someone would be like,
I don't believe you've never had an ego, Jordan. You were probably bullied because you had an ego back in junior high, I'm going to guess. I don't think it was evil energy from your dead father.
You're a pseudoscientist cult leader and I hate you and you should die. And I'd be like,
Yeah, that's me. That's every comment I leave for him.
Pro-choice life. Like,
you're not a cult leader yet, Jordan. Did I somehow go back too far or too far ahead?
Myself. And this is why, I mean, it's crazy, but like, even when I started Spirit Science and years later, people would be like, oh my god, Spirit Science.
Here we go.
You know, I'm just a worthless piece of junk. And then someone would be like, you're a pseudoscientist cult leader and I hate you and you should die. And I'd be like,
cult leader in the making. You're not a cult leader yet. Give it another like 10 or 20 years and you probably will be.
The worst. Interestingly, being a product of both pro-choice life, like, this is another side thing. Included in pro-choice is the choice to have the baby. So even when people say, like, well, abortion shouldn't happen, it should be pro-
Well, your mom never wanted to get the abortion, so, like, your dad wanting her to abort you isn't, like, she apparently was never going to do that, so, no, this has nothing to do with you, Jordan. Stop putting your trauma on this.
pro-life only, but like, the ones who are making the choice, it's not like 100% of them are choosing not to have the baby. They can still do it. And a lot of people have conceived without ever intending to, and it's like, whoops, that's a lot of a different energy than, you know, the abusive one. And then they still decide to go forward with it, and it brings their life together. In fact, one of my best friends has that situation himself, and he's such a beautiful soul, and I'm really happy for him and the life that he's having, and he's thrilled that it went that way. But to bring it back to what we were just talking about before this fun little tangent, the question actually then becomes, if a child is born of such an abusive situation, and they grow up, and they have that energy inside of them, what kind of effect is that going to have on them? And how is that...
So he's basically saying the manner in which you were conceived gives you body thetans. That's what he's saying here. He's a cult leader in training. He's like a pupa. He's a pupa of a cult leader. Oh. And now he's talking about heart transplants? What the fuck? Okay, hang on. Let's... God, we're getting so many good pause faces this stream.
So really quick, here's that idea. I was thinking about the stories about heart transplants.
Oh, he changed the sets.
What would happen in the future
or angles,
when
I guess.
We're able to, let's say with technology, like super advanced tech and stuff, able to do like a full brain transplant, or if you were to like take off someone's head entirely, but like keep them alive. You know, like have one of those like Futurama, like heads in a jars kind of thing.
Computers may be twice as fast as they were in 1973, but your average voter is as drunk and stupid as ever.
Does that include the soul? Like, there's some very interesting things. There are stories of people who...
Well, did you decide that the heart is the soul? I thought you didn't sound like that's the side you came down on.
Were on the brink of death. Their heart was damaged for whatever reason, and they actually got a heart transplant, and someone else's heart was put in their body. Now, they were still themselves, but they also received some of the traits of the person that they received the heart from. I remember one story in particular.
Like, these are all anecdotes, Jordan. This doesn't prove anything.
Where a woman, I believe, received the heart of a man who had just passed away, and he gave his heart in that process.
Was
her
this
life was
fictional?
saved, but in addition, she instantly received or got this craving for, I think it was some kind of junk food. It was like McDonald's burgers and fries or something like that. And she ended up...
Yeah, humans will find patterns in anything, Jordan. Again, these are things you have to, like, rule out before you're gonna say it's magic.
Talking to the mother, I believe, of this person who had passed away, and they confirmed, like, oh yeah, he loved that.
Yeah, like, where, it's like a bullet list of little, like, fucking anecdotes, like, your grandma might email you. What is this? Let's skip ahead.
Body, and let's say we could do that scientifically, you might argue that that person's personality would be alive and existing with the...
Okay, this is fucking horseshit. Let's see what he says about evolution at the end here. Oh god, please don't stare directly at us, Jordan. It's very disconcerting.
And the most important thing...
Okay, he's back on this set.
I was going to mention this, didn't you?
Okay.
But no, the most important thing out of all of this actually transcends the conversation entirely and says that we, as a species, need to evolve beyond this reality where this kind of thing happens. With proper education and a raising of our
see, abortion won't be a problem if we all just evolve to a higher spiritual plane. What a good salient solution, Jordan.
Consciousness. First, there would be no abuse. There would be no word that starts with R and rhymes with grape. There would be none of these kinds of things that would happen, and that would reduce a lot of the trauma and a lot of the terror. And
okay, so in the meantime, before we all become spiritual beings of light, how should we legislate this, Jordan? That is the question at hand. You can't just walk into every, like, political and legal situation going, well, guys, if we all just evolve into superior light creatures, this won't even be a problem anymore. Like, okay, but what do we do until then, Jordan?
Bring men and women together in more harmony than divide. So that's huge. We have to grow in love, in agape love especially, in universal love, and we have to understand that there is a way of using sexual energy that is beyond the carnal. Many watching you
I don't like where this is going.
probably already know this, but maybe some of you are hearing it for
Are you gonna talk about argon energy? Please don't.
first time. Like, there is an energetic current running up the body, and if you're just having sex in a carnal way, then it's all that energy is like rooted down here. It doesn't go up. But there is a way of channeling that sexual energy so that the orgasm is like a full body orgasm that goes around.
Is it the onk, Jordan? Is it the onk? You use it like a tuning fork? You said that in the human history video.
On the body, and we talked about that in the human history movie, like they would onk their sexual energy and would vibrate.
Oh my god, he said it! He said the meme! He said the fucking meme! I was fucking joking! We have to see that again. And there's another good... Hey, I'm slowing it down for this. There's another great pause face.
Rooted down here. It doesn't go up. But there is a way of channeling that sexual energy so that the orgasm is like a full body orgasm that goes around the body. And we talked about that in the human history movie, like they would onk their sexual energy and would vibrate through their body. And it was a transcendent, euphoric and blissful orgasm. And
what does this have to do with evolution, Jordan? I'm skipping ahead a little bit.
probably dissimilar from Tantra today, although I reckon they probably...
Okay. Evolution, Jordan.
Like, you know, just growing up, I felt like I was shadowed or I was in the dark on so many subjects for a really long time until I started self-educating myself and having experiences and learning lessons.
Self-educating myself. Yeah, it sounds like it worked out well.
And I feel like that's the way that, especially with sexual energy, it's like this taboo subject. We can't talk about it.
Okay, so this whole section is not about evolution at all. Okay, thanks. Good to know. I think we're done with that video.
Super Walker sent a super chat, about to play No Man's Sky during this stream.
Hell yeah. I wonder when the update's coming, man. I'm excited. I gotta finish my art.
Space Frog sent a super chat. My prediction, abortion is murder, but murder's okay.
No, we end up going back to onking sexual energy and learning Jordan's origin story.
Chat, Jordan, abort half the fetus. Solomon approves.
He does think he's like a King Solomon type. It's crazy.
Abalonic111 sent a super chat. Hey Jordan, Charlie visited me to tell you that you're gay. So you can stop denying it.
I mean, he was crushing on Charlie Kirk. You saw him.
Walker sent a super chat. Cat in the cradle and the spoon. Jordan did some drug and reconnected with father too.
Cat in the cradle and the silver spoon. Jordan did ayahuasca and reunited with his father. Yeah, right. What the fuck?
Abalonic111 sent a super chat. Guys, Zach Hadel called my spiritual visions the dumbest thing he's ever heard. I was so bullied, guys.
We did watch that video on one stream. I don't think we'll watch it tonight, but yeah, there's a video of the Only Plays guys talking about Jordan River, and like, again, they knew him back when he was first getting into this stuff. It's crazy.
Jessel sent a super chat. Just get good and become a spiritual being, guys.
Yeah, like, okay, we won't have to worry about any of this stuff if everyone just becomes light beings, and it's like, okay, Jordan, that doesn't really solve the immediate problem. I'm gonna take a break real quick, so I'll leave you guys with some music, and I will return soon. back. Turn that back down. It was dated music, which is great, though. That guy is actually putting out a game next month, which I'm definitely going to stream. It's like an ooky spooky Stardew Valley Don't Starve type of game, but I think it also has, like, Undertale RPG mechanics. I don't know, it's weird. But I'll definitely play it on stream, like, as a first look. Because we are pro-dated, ill-advised records around here. I play so much of his fucking music on these streams. I don't know, he kind of was, like, all giddy about Charlie Kirk, like, he's so hunky and dreamy. It was weird, guys. I don't know, if there's any other funny Johnny Galvatron videos, I don't think we can top that fucking TED Talk he did.
At the _ frog sent a super chat. BRB music could be animal sounds from your zoo.
Yeah, yesterday I played My Voice Zoo, which is this little $3 game where you collect zoo animals, like, in a passive way, and you record the sounds for them. It was very cute, very fun. Kind of the novelty wears off pretty quick, though, so we only played, like, an hour. I pretty much unlocked everything, but if it does keep recordings of the sounds and the files, I could dig them out. Maybe we can use those for something.
At Sawesomeness sent a super chat. Also
Yay!
playing NMS for first time while watching. I found a crashed ship. Working on repairing it, but lost it on a planet. Where the fuck is my ship?
Well, your old ship should still be, like, in your inventory or whatever of summoning it. So, but I don't know. No Man's Sky can be a little quirky sometimes, and it doesn't really explain itself very well. When the update comes out, I might do another stream, though. They didn't release it, like, directly on the 10th anniversary, but they did announce it, and it's called Cosmos. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to introduce. So it's going to be good. And it was funny to learn, too, like, the last expedition, we thought they were testing stuff for Light No Fire. It turns out it's the other way around. A lot of the stuff they're building in Light No Fire is getting ported over into No Man's Sky, apparently. So, that was interesting news. Anyway, so let's go back to his follow-up video after that one, and continue on from there.
Choice video, I specifically referenced him and his Surrounded video where he spent a lot of time talking about that particular conversation. So I just wanted to—
Yeah, and you, like, just showed the most rage-baity clips where he, like, bamboozles fucking 20-year-olds by being pedantic. And pedantic in a wrong way.
To express, before I play the video that I filmed, that this video was made before then. I didn't actually reference him in this, but because of the connection to him, I just wanted to express the time gap in this and what took place since then, and why it took me some time to get this thing published. So, without further ado, here's the video. I hope you enjoy. Some of the subjects in this have the potential to be—
Get on with it! Okay, look, he changed shirts. We can see where the actual video starts. He has the same stupid vest on, but he changed— Oh, maybe it's a different vest, actually. It's kind of made out of the same material. Are these vests or are they scarves? I'm not entirely sure. Again, I kind of want one.
Grain of salt and—
Jordan, sell these fucking things in your store, man. I want one of these.
Please enjoy. Alright, so the first thing is, I have to
chat
every
pet is
time
here.
that I do, like, a fast or something, and then I show up on the internet, I get so—
Yeah, this is so fucking— This is so onking unbelievable, right?
many comments of people being like, you look so malnourished, are you okay? I acknowledge, I look a little skinnier than normal. But let's just put that aside for the moment, because there's—
Is it the
something that I actually
ayahuasca?
came to in the last—
It's like taking ayahuasca makes you fucking throw up, apparently.
week or so that I really want to talk about. This is kind of a realization about one of my earlier videos. So, do you remember when I made— if you've seen it, if you've been following along, I did a video called Pro-Life versus Pro-Choice, and really
we
just talked about the entire—
Yeah, we just flipped through that one and found your fucking cult leader origin story. It was kind of crazy.
sticky situation, the tension that everyone feels, or there's so much controversy around on both sides of the argument. And I didn't really—
Well, like, he is reading off something on his screen here, but he's also, like, just like, rambling, you know, and stalling. It's so weird.
He closed that video, you know, with like a— here's my thoughts on what the highest answer would be, but I put out a lot of information about looking at both sides.
Your answer at the end was like, well, abortion won't be a problem if we all just evolve into light beings. Also, you can onk your sexual energy.
How it looks, to me anyways, and maybe what makes sense. And, you know, like, in the big picture, what I kind of got was like a gradient spectrum, where in most cases, it's kind of like when conception takes place, you have this like, you know, it's like you have the life force energy, the life energy of the mother and the father coming together to make a vehicle for a new soul to come in. But there's this...
No, it's the gametes, Jordan. They're not energy things. They're biological.
Time where the soul doesn't come in. And then there's this gradient of when the pineal gland is forming. And then afterwards, once that pineal gland is formed, maybe then it's better not.
Okay, well, is the soul in the pineal gland or the heart then? You have said both!
To have an abortion. And so it kind of goes from one sliding scale to the other. And I was like, okay, that is a good visualization of how maybe we can kind of universally approach this. However, some other things came to me in the last couple of weeks. In the last week especially.
Yeah, gradient spectrum. You can just say spectrum. Again, he just rambles on words to sound smart. And I think this kind of bamboozling works on some people, where it's like, well, I don't understand what he's talking about, but he sounds like he understands what he's talking about, so I'm gonna believe him.
Especially, that really landed and hit, and I was like, oh, there's some other elements of this. And what I came to was, you know, it's like, we have this like pro-choice versus pro-life. What if there is actually a third category? And I'm like, yeah, if there was one, this is...
Well, again, Jordan, either you allow abortion or you don't. There isn't a third category. Maybe he really does want to just cut the fetus in half like Solomon.
What I'd call it, and where I'd subscribe myself to be, which is pro-understanding. And it's kind of funny because...
I'm gonna be a useless centrist about this so I can feel spiritually enlightened to everybody else.
Imagine you're in a conversation and someone's like, well, are you pro-choice or are you pro-life? And you're like, I'm pro-understanding.
You're like, I don't want to give an answer because I need to look progressive to all the people that are going to buy my crystals and my Spirit Science rap album, but I'm deeply conservative deep down.
What does that mean? And you're like, well, it means that I understand just how complex of a subject this is. And maybe...
No, you don't! Because your answer was we should all just evolve into late beings and then rape and abortion won't be problems anymore.
At the _space frog sent a super chat. Rambling? No, he's Grimuglia in.
I don't know, I'm pretty sure Grimuglia gets to a point faster than fucking this, though he might be on the poll next week.
Maybe from that place of understanding, on sometimes a case-by-case basis, there's something...
I have a short of the rap album if you ever wish to revisit that.
For us to go deeper into. Like, I understand...
In fact, maybe we'll play it after this video.
That for some people, it's really rigid on like, no, it always needs to be choice or life, you know? I was just thinking, like, this is gonna be maybe a weird example, but like, just flow with me on this. And I'm not sharing this to suggest that this is the definitive be-all, absolute...
I'm flowing with you, Jordan.
Understanding.
I'm flowing on the Jordan River. In an inner tube, just seeing where it goes.
But this is something to play with, and I'm just putting it out into the collective so that we can all kind of think about it. So if you have thoughts on this subject, share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. So, but here's the thing. Let's just go back and...
I'm not gonna rap. Jordan did a rap.
Imagine. The two...
I know I can't rap. I'm not gonna try.
People, one's a character, one's a person, in real life that I was thinking about. One was Hitler, and then the other...
Maybe he is Grimullying. Why are you bringing up Hitler out of nowhere? For what? What?
Thinking about. One was Hitler, and then the other
I need
to
figure out what the fuck led up to this. I was reading chat, and all of a sudden I heard Hitler.
Share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. So, but here's
Excuse me.
Let's just go back and imagine.
God, you made me cough. I think you infected me with evil energy, Jordan.
The two people, one's a character, one's a person, in real life that I was thinking about. One was Hitler, and then the other...
I was just... guys, one day I was just thinking about Hitler.
Was Lord Voldemort.
One day I was just thinking about Hitler and Voldemort, and like, they're kind of similar, huh? No one has ever made this comparison. I don't know why the voice I do for him keeps changing.
And like, imagine for a moment, there's this, oh gosh, there's a funny video by How It Should Have Ended. You know, if you've ever seen those cartoons.
Jordan, I think you have ADHD.
Online. And they did one like How Harry Potter Should Have Ended. And there was this funny scene where Snape takes a time turner and he's like...
Jordan, what does this have to do with Hitler? Go back to Hitler. Why were you thinking about Hitler?
400,000 25.
In the same video you're talking about Charlie Kirk, what
400,026. He's turning the time turner back like a bajillion times to go back in time to when Tom Riddle was a little kid. And he just
I sure love when people retell jokes, but worse. Isn't this like ancient Newgrounds stuff too?
shows up and he's like, I'm gonna get out! And he kills him. and he's like stuck back in time. And, you know, people in that timeline, if they saw that back then, they'd be like, what are you doing killing this child? And he's like,
he made the face again. Endless thumbnail potential in these videos.
if they saw that back then, they'd be like, what are you doing?
Oh, you know what the next like 5 Jordan thumbnails are gonna be?
Killing this child. And he's like, you have no idea how important it was that we did that. It's like, okay.
Okay, what did you take before this video, and why wasn't it Ritalin?
And then I thought, similarly, like, what about Hitler? I know, this is crazy, right? But like, let's just imagine.
Yeah, what
for a moment
about
that
Hitler?
Whoever Hitler's mom was, at a young age, or while Hitler was in the womb, if she knew, let's say that she's virtuous, that she's a good person and everything like that, she knows what's going to happen in the future, and let's just say that she has that information, then you're like, does it actually make sense that that would be the best possible thing to do?
Right after I joked in the last video that his dad wanted him aborted because he could see the evil that was coming, he makes the same fucking analogy about Hitler. I don't know, Jordan, maybe we're spiritually connected in some way. That's a little too perfect. I don't know. Maybe I'm starting to believe you now.
You know, it's just like, maybe we just abort this child, you know? And then what's crazy is this hit me. This is wild. There's actually I would say a biblical story. It's not biblical, but it's in the Quran, actually. And I've talked about so many different...
I guess I'm psychic. I have always said I'm the world's worst clairvoyant. Like, I'll get deja vu, but about, like, the most mundane things ever.
Teachings and books before, and sometimes on Spirit Science I get comments like, what about Islam? Have you read the Quran? Let's talk about Allah, and let's talk about that faith. And I haven't really spoken about it so much. However, there's a story in the Quran that's very relative to this. And in the story...
Oh, now we have Islam. We're throwing Islam onto the pile now.
It says that there's this prophet, Al-Qadir, I think his name is, and he's a teacher of Moses. And he takes Moses on this journey, and Moses is like, please, you are this great prophet, you have to teach me. And Al-Qadir is like, all right, I will
abort your son.
take you on this journey, and I'm going to show you 3 things that you are going to hate, and you will not understand them at all. And yet, what I'm doing is the right thing to do. And so in this story, how it goes is that Al-Qadir, he destroys, there's like a harmonious village or something like this. And he sees the village and he destroys these boats of these like fishermen who are completely innocent and have done nothing.
Okay.
And Moses is like, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you destroying these boats? And the prophet is like, see, I told you need to trust me, and you're not trusting me. And he's like, you see,
he dragged Moses around doing completely psychopathic shit and told him just keep trusting me, and that's how I'm gonna model my cult.
Near future, this evil king over here is gonna come and raid this village. He is gonna take all of these boats and use them for his army, and he is gonna destroy this village and that village and all of these people.
Well, he didn't, like, need to kill the guys on the boats to like, couldn't you just warn the people? Like, dismantle your boats, or you could have got them off the boats before you blew up the boats, but...
So by burning these boats now, I am stopping this bad event from taking place in the future. And Moses eventually, you know, when he hears the answer, he's like...
And that's why my father should have aborted me. It's a terrible joke to keep making, but dear God, he just keeps setting it up.
Like, I didn't get it. So then the story goes on, and what happens is there's this child in a village, and Moses and the prophet, they go into this town, and the prophet takes...
Well, that's always spirit science or anything to do with Jordan River. Complete rambling nonsense, but I love it. He's so fascinating to me.
The child, and he kills him in front of the mother and in front of Moses. And Moses again is like, you just murdered a child. How could you do this?
Yeah,
and
see, that's the face I use for the
again, the
thumbnail
prophet
there.
is like, you didn't understand. You have to know what's going on here. And he finally explains it to him. He says, this child is going to grow up to be a tyrant. You can see the parallel in this argument, in this conversation. This child's gonna grow up in...
And he was worried about somebody shooting him like they shot Charlie Kirk. What are you trying to tell us, Jordan? Are you telling us that you should be assassinated to prevent a great evil in the future? Because on the trajectory you're on right now, and kind of believe it.
...into a complete monster. And he's gonna murder all of these people. And God wants to give this...
This is not in the Quran? Yeah, it's not... It doesn't sound like a story familiar to me. I'm not as familiar with the Quran or Quranic text as I am with others, but the Quran has a lot of similar stories to the Torah and the Bible anyway. So this doesn't sound familiar at all. So I don't think I'm gonna bother looking it up though.
This mother and this family, a good child, a righteous one. And so I'm taking away this one so that all of
basically Jordan is just arguing why he should have been aborted.
People in the future will be protected, and this mother can have a good child growing up. And once again, Moses is like, you know, just doesn't understand, and he's starting to get it. And I think, I kind of forget, but it might be at the very end that the prophet reveals all these things, but just below it. Like, you can look it up. Look up Al-Qadir, Moses, ask AI, and you can get those.
Oh yeah, the whole thing with his dad and his daddy issues really brings that video where he talks to Patchman as his god into perspective. Again, I did a cut of that one. I do recommend it. It doesn't have a lot of views, but I think it's funny.
Sorry, or Google it or whatever. But then, so then there's a final one, and it has to do with, there's this wall or something, and the prophet ends up, like, destroying the wall of a town or a village.
Al-Qadir rebuilds the wall. Moses is confused, arguing you should get paid. What the fuck is this story from? Okay, I'm gonna look up this story while he keeps rambling, because now I'm...
You know, Moses gets all mad, how could you do this? And then eventually it comes out that there's like some treasure buried under the wall and it was gonna go to the wrong people. And then Moses, you know, again, he kind of gets the explanation that now that, you know, thing that was buried, the treasure will go to the right people, that ended up actually being for the best path for everybody. So you can look up all the details. It doesn't really matter so much on the last one. I'm just trying to provide the context. And the second story is the one that stood out to me because with this like pro-life, pro-choice, sometimes, you know, again, on that like right-wing side, there's this perspective that no matter what, if there's conception, there should be life. And I even said in the earlier video, I ended up kind of trimming the section at the very end once it was published. But the thing, I was like, maybe we should be pro-life, but also have a choice. And the way that I'm thinking about it...
Okay, I am seeing that wherever this story is from, it's not in the Quran. It's about a guy who is in the Quran, but the story itself is not in the Quran.
Now, is this with like pro-understanding? It's really kind of on a case-by-case basis that can be universally applied, that we can still...
sorry, you can only get into the Discord if you're a channel member, and you do that by connecting Discord to YouTube from the Discord side.
Be in support of life, like in the sense that, you know, someone told me, or someone posted a comment on that video, and they said, you know, you commented and said, what if having this child is going to ruin everything for, you know, for the mother, and the child's going to have a bad life and it could be terrible. And there's this other pathway, like what if actually having the child could be for the...
How's your mother's life? Also, I guess maybe he must have a stepfather or a step-parent, because he said his parents, plural, came over in that one video, and he drank a lot that weekend. So who's this parent beside your mother, Jordan?
Best thing for everyone. And, you know, the thing is, that's also
yeah,
true.
Does he know what choice means? Like, none of these people are choosing to have this happen to them.
But with pro-understanding, you can weigh both of them and make the best possible decision from a higher understanding of the current situation.
Oh, thank you for the gifted sub,
I don't think
Space
that
Frog.
the situation that I'm speaking to, like with Hitler or Voldemort or whatever, applies to everyone. You know, I don't think that that's very often the case, but I think sometimes it can be. And at the very least, maybe we can collectively, you know, again, I'm just putting it out there. Please make your own decision, have your own experience. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt if you like, or a dash of pepper if you prefer. My suggestion ultimately comes down to, let's raise our thinking to a higher level. And let's try to approach not just this, but all controversial subjects and really sensitive, difficult subjects.
Just try to be above this issue that doesn't impact me at all.
From the highest place of truth and weigh everything against the metric of the light in our heart and love in our heart and the peace and beauty and grace within our mind and highest understanding that we can. Like with
so
the
he's saying less than nothing right now.
You're probably familiar with that whole Buddhist Hindu concept, you know, the Buddhist concept of the chakras and the 1,000-petal lotus. But either way,
Chakras aren't a Buddhist concept. Again, he's mixed all these religions together so much you can't even remember what's from which anymore. So far we've had Hebrew Kabbalah, Taoism. What was the one after Taoism? I'm already forgetting. You had Christianity in there, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism. I think it was Hinduism again in the other one. What else you got for us, Jordan? I told you! He tries to mix every single belief system in the world together.
I think that's probably it for this one. I'm afraid I think this.
And then there's like a minute left.
Like, I have no idea how this is going to be received, well or not. But I wanted to put it out there because after the past, again, couple of weeks and just these.
Okay, whatever. Let's look at the comments again. Let's see what people are saying. Is that guy who writes in all caps in this one too? Oh dear God. What is this comment? Hitler wasn't solely responsible for history as it unfolded. Dark forces planned it, and Hitler was one of those who were willing to take on that role. At the time, there certainly would have been others. This role also developed over time, and dark forces were leading. In addition, the population also played its part. Too many allowed it to happen during that time. Still, if Hitler's fetus body had been aborted, another would have played the role. There would have always been a Hitler. It was the demons, guys. Wow. That's sure something. As for the idea of what if Hitler's mom had aborted him, you are assuming that people are born either evil or good. You're being canceled, Jordan. Oh, Jesus Christ. This goes on forever. The light of Christ, everybody. Yeah, I've told you guys before, if you're actually Christian, you have to believe that Hitler could have, repented and gone to heaven. So you're using a story which was first introduced to us personally by a false prophet to suggest that humans are able to decide who gets to live and who gets to die? What was his response to that? Good to hear from you, Amelia! I hope you're being genuine and not sarcastic. Like, he just ignored everything she said. Oh god, is this another... And this is just emojis, okay. Damn it, River, why do you keep talking about this? A lion says life begins at conception. There's 22 replies. Okay. Alright, let's just look at the rest of the channel and see what we find. I think he also had a video about gender. Yes, he did. It's only 5 minutes. Let's see what he's got to say.
I think one of the most important conversations that we could be having collectively as a species right now is actually on the subject of gender equality and harmony of the sexes. Now, this doesn't
okay, not quite what I thought you were going to talk about.
Just exist on a physical level. This is a mental, emotional, spiritual conversation. It even comes down to the harmony and the integration and union between our own...
What the fuck are you wearing? What are these gloves?
Brain hemispheres. Many people are more predominantly left-brained or more predominantly right-brained. And if we're focused in existing and thinking on one side of our own inner spectrum than the other, we can create divisiveness within ourselves, and that can go to reflect divisiveness outside of ourselves in the relationships that we have.
He is so good at just saying nothing, isn't he? This is how he could become a cult leader. You know, this is the kind of shit like self-help gurus and, like, you know, guys selling you how to get better at business plans talk, you know?
This also, of course, applies then on a physical level, even down to the question of how many genders are there? I mean, it's curious to me that this is
okay, maybe he is gonna talk about what I thought he was gonna talk about.
Such a big conversation today, and many people argue.
I'm talking about gender today, so this is how I decided to dress.
And fight about how many genders there are, and what the nature of being a human actually looks like. Now, in order to understand and answer...
Oh, I looked at the transcript of the Pride Comes Before the Fall video, and he's just saying, pride is kind of a bad word, because it can be a sin, so maybe you should use a different word. It sounds like a nothing burger of a video, unfortunately.
To answer this question, we actually have to recognize there are 3 tiers, essentially, of how we understand sex and gender. First, there is sex, the biological materialization of that gender divide on the physical level. And if we're looking purely at the physical,
there are two sexes, male and female. And then perhaps you could say hermaphroditic if someone is born with both sexes.
You're not supposed to call intersex people hermaphrodites anymore, Jordan.
Although that is very, very rare case. Now, on the other hand, we go a level up higher than that, we have gender. Now, this is where things start to get confusing today. Many people believe that there are infinite numbers of genders, but if we look at the relationship between at least the etymology, like the definition of the word and the root of the word, gender is a
Jordan, the root of the word doesn't really matter if people are just using it for a specific meaning these days. I mean, plenty of words have changed meanings, or even become the opposite of what they used to mean. You have to look into how people are using it now.
Construct based on sex. Gender is understanding masculine and feminine pillars based on what is physically manifested as well.
Oh, really? What are those pillars, Jordan? I would love to hear a very non-sexist answer.
But we also start to understand that this is where things start to become more energetic.
Oh, he is definitely going to be talking about male and female energy, and I would love to hear him explain what the fuck that actually is.
Than just material. So on the energetic level, we can see within ourselves, everybody has masculine and feminine energy within them. And it's within that existence, within that energetic
did you wear those gloves to show your feminine energy, Jordan?
Understanding that we start to have a blending of energy. You can have more masculine and some feminine energy. You can have more feminine and more masculine energy.
And how the fuck are these two concepts defined, Jordan? What characterizes masculine energy and feminine energy? I would love to hear what you think.
You can have a masculine body with more feminine energy, or a feminine body with more masculine energy, and so on and so forth.
Which
to varying
are
degrees.
what?
And then as a level on top of that, something that is only new in recent history is the concept of gender identity.
Oh, I thought this was just in part of the definition of gender. I honestly thought he was gonna put male and female energy up here. Oh, you're disappointing me, Jordan.
So these three pillars then are sex, gender identity. Now this is the realm that is the most permeable and malleable because it comes down to how we're choosing to think and identify within that existing spectrum of masculine and feminine energy. This is why people say that there's—
Which again, you have not defined what masculine and feminine energy even are. What characterizes them, Jordan? How do they differ from each other?
An infinite number of genders, or there could be an infinite number of genders, because within the spectrum of how one's masculine and feminine energy is blending together, you could kind of pick out any individual space in between there and give that a name if you want to. And so it's kind of like saying, look—
Jordan is in favor of xenogenders, guys.
You've got 7 colors, right? You've got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. But then, in the space between all of those colors, we've got infinite more colors too.
Would you call it a gradient
fuchsia,
spectrum,
and
Jordan?
And teal, and aqua, and it goes on and on and on. There's so many possibilities of how we can identify and name and label things. In order for us to find, I think—
Speaking of labels, is there a label on his little capelet there? I want to find out what that is. Versal. Okay.
I think a sense of peace and reconciliation between these two opposing views of gender and sex and sexual identity, or gender identity. What we want to be able to do is slowly but surely become very clear with each other and ourselves as to which dimensions we're talking about when it comes to these things. We can express ourselves one way. We can have an inner experience another way. We can have a way of looking at the world that either matches or does not match how we feel inside. At the end of the day, our experience of ourselves is our own. We don't have to force other people to see things our way. But if we are able to live in the most authentic way possible, most authentic and true to our own hearts.
Look, this is definitely the most authentic man in the world, guys. He's totally not full of shit on so many things.
Our own experience of life, and practice kindness and virtue and goodness in everything that we do, then it doesn't really matter. Don't worry so much about trying to convince other people that you're this or that. Just be yourself, but be good in that. And if you find that you are not such a good person—
So this whole video just boiled down to be yourself, everyone! I can't find an actual brand called that. I was, closest thing I found is Versal V Chrome hoodies. From Printival. I don't know what that is. I'm just curious where he gets his clothes. Alright, well that was a whole lot of nothing. Let's see what else he's got here. Does he has a girlfriend? Who's also wearing a scarf just like him? Okay.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm joined on this video by a very special guest, this plant. But it's not really a plant, it's really Rose.
Hi.
And today we're going to be talking about the...
Wow, you like actually got like it's like Where's Waldo or Wallace and Gromit, where the girlfriend looks exactly like the male main character. You found a doppelganger, Jordan. The only person who could love you. Are you still with this woman? I'm gonna imagine she didn't stick around long, but she's wearing a matching scarf.
The Thanksgiving calamity that is happening in the United States. I am a Canadian observer looking at it from the outside, and this whole thing has baffled me, and so I brought in a special guest who is American, who might be able to shed some light on this whole thing. You see, the other week, during Thanksgiving, Rose wanted to...
Well, he's not saying... It says couples react, but he's not saying what she is to him. Yeah, she's his distaff counterpart, you know? But... So he's not saying this is his girlfriend or wife or anything, and we never see her again, to my knowledge. So, did he film this with a woman he knows who is not his girlfriend? And then name it Couples React? Because it's technically true, they're a couple of people? That's gonna be my guess until he says what she is to him.
Watch the parade. And why, again, did you want to watch the parade?
She's him from a different universe! He rose in the plains and he found his female counterpart in an alternate universe.
I like the balloons. I like the balloons.
That was pretty much it. It was
Yeah.
like, but Pikachu. And I was like,
Oh god,
okay,
I think there's something
there's
wrong with
Pikachu
her.
balloon.
And there was a Goku.
There was a Goku. There
And,
was
and a One Piece guy.
Monkey D. Luffy.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, and some Stranger Things. Although that one wasn't a balloon.
What was the Stranger Things thing?
There was a Stranger Things thing.
What was the Stranger
Does
Things?
she even have a chair? Did you make her sit on a stool next to you?
It was a box with a Demigorgon in it or something.
Okay, I watched all 3 hours of this thing. I do not remember the Stranger Things thing.
Hold on, I'll show you.
Oh! That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you're totally right.
This is all this is gonna be.
But have been a much bigger list. We kind of ended up settling on, there's some things to talk
That's
about.
alarming. That's alarming.
Yeah. The first thing that we noticed and that you called out was like, holy crap, this is a lot of pollution. Like a lot, like an insane amount of...
I thought you were gonna say, like, Christmas during the Thanksgiving Day parade is too early, but you're like, wow, it's pollution. Okay.
Confetti and other things that ended up just like destroying New York streets for a day.
You know they clean it up afterward, right? Oh no! They're polluting the concrete! What an there's like not even a blade of grass. It's New York City! There's no plants anywhere, Jordan! What are they polluting? Oh no! The sewer water is gonna have confetti in it! It's going to disrupt the ecosystem of New York City!
We actually saw this on the news. I looked it up the next day just to see, you know, what was in the news.
Clean
And the
it
top
up,
article
you
was,
idiot!
naughty Macy's Thanksgiving parade partiers fill streets with 41.5 tons of trash.
And then there's people being paid to clean it up! So what do you mean?
Equivalent to a large humpback whale.
It just blows my mind. Like, 41.5 tons. Like, I know there's, you know, hundreds of thousands, if not millions.
Do not have parades in Canada?
But it wasn't just the confetti. It was also, like, coffee cups and donut boxes and people leaving stuff behind.
Is this what this is? These two sitting there going, that's a lot of pollution, and they're using styrofoam food boxes, and they're using plastic straws. This is very not cool. Is that what this whole video is?
Clothing.
Yeah.
The article specified that, like, people just leave extra layers of clothing. Like, they bring their jacket, and then they're just like, I don't need this right now, and they just...
People forget things or lose things, you know, that happens.
Just leave it in the street? I'm sorry, what is your culture?
So, okay, so here's the problem. Like...
No, Jordan's not gay, he's just a faggot.
just like for
I can say it, I'm gay!
For me personally, I have been slowly pulling myself away from American culture and just being more and more like, wow, this is not the way that I want to live my life. And I think a lot of people feel that way. So
the enlightened Canadian culture is so much better, I'm sure. You guys don't pollute at all, right?
just to be clear, I'm not actually like pro-America or anything like that.
You're not a patriot?
I mean, I used to be when I was a kid and brainwashed and didn't know any better. I actually, I did Girl Scouts, and in elementary school, I actually raised the flag for the school every day. I was the flag.
Oh my god, I raised the flag and was in Girl Scouts. I was so brainwashed by jingoism.
Girl, and like actually really loved the American flag, and I like had them all in my room.
I guess you do strike me as the kind of person who would choose to go live in Canada.
And was all about it, and then my brain fused, and I realized that
we're so much smarter than Americans. Buy our crystals. Now they're gonna talk about the history of Thanksgiving. What is this? What is this? Okay, hey, hold up. I mean, I'm fucking curious.
Elementary school, the story that we're told is that the Pilgrims came over. This is gonna be drunk history. The Pilgrims came over in their big old sailing ships.
Are you guys drunk? This explains a lot.
They landed, and it was a really hard first year because they did not have any farmland. They didn't know how to farm. They were like, northeastern of the United States where it's really cold and crazy, and they didn't have any food, and it was really rough. And
as if it's not fucking cold in Canada? What do you mean?
Then the story that
you're further north than we are!
We're told after that first year, the native people came and taught them how to use the land and to farm. And
look, my hatred of Canada is mostly a bit, I'm American, Canada's our little brother, I gotta pick on them. I'm gonna be going to Canada in October. To see my friend and her husband. So.
They were bringing food and blankets and all of these things to help them survive. And then that first Thanksgiving was a celebration of everything that the native people had done to help them. And it was this beautiful long table harvest celebration with all of the food and thanks and gratitude and all of these
and AI pictures
things, and that it became this regular annual celebration of friendship. And of course, we all know what happened after that. But that literally never.
Yeah, in fucking 4th grade, they didn't tell us the whole story. That is a good pause face. Yeah, in 4th fucking grade, they didn't tell us the whole story. But then, as you got older, you're supposed to learn the real one. What, did you not?
Happened.
And it's just a story.
Yeah.
Right. So we opened up this window and asked ChatGPT, give us the story, what really happened. And
let's ask ChatGPT what happened during American colonization. You could have looked it up on fucking Wikipedia, Jordan. But it's woo-woo people and really crazy fundamentalist Christians all love AI. It's weird. Maybe because they're so prone to magical thinking that it seems spiritual and magical to them, because it's ooh, data and images and information just coming out of nowhere, just bestowed upon humanity, because they're just such fucking Luddites, they don't know how it works,
Look at this. There was a...
Alright, we're skipping this part. What else should they talk... Then they go back to talking about the parade. And what is this here?
Different aspects of this, and now let's go back to that Macy's Thanksgiving Day. Well, okay, so I've never watched the parade. I barely know anything about it. I barely even heard about it, being in Canada. And you told me that in America, the day often for many people isn't even called Thanksgiving. People just call it Macy's Day.
Today's a Macy's Day parade.
That is inaccurate, Jordan. I've never heard anybody call Thanksgiving Macy's Day. We refer to the Macy's Day Parade that happens on Thanksgiving, but...
Well, in response to the parade. If they're talking about the parade specifically, the whole name is Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. But, because that's a mouthful, it gets shortened to the Macy's Day Parade. Mm-hmm. Macy's Day Parade, which is...
So, you've got these, layers and layers, then, it looks like, or feels like, of a story that is not a story, disguised as something positive, that then has been hijacked by...
I'm skipping ahead again.
It's weird, right?
No, it's totally weird. And it's really tone deaf, too. Anybody who is... Now, okay, the logistics of that parade have to be insane. I get it. But the intentional choice to pair Lil Jon on a Toys R Us float and I don't even remember who the lady singer was singing the dirty song on the Lego float, but it's like, what are you doing? Pay attention. Like, what are you doing? The brands of food that are being represented, the representation of American culture in its form of food, like Jenny O.
These are the people that pay to have floats.
And Green Giant and...
Well, you missed Jordan Rivers saying he channeled Charlie Kirk. And then we watched a video where he gave us his entire villain backstory. That was pretty cool. Now we're just watching random videos on his second channel. He's here with some lady. He calls this a couples react, but he didn't say this lady is his girlfriend or anything. So, I don't know what's going on.
It's just the worst food.
It's just the worst food.
It's the worst food.
None of it is organic. All of it is grown terribly and monocultural. It's just the absolute most...
What, do you think, like, Canada has, like, super advanced organic farming that's totally different than America's? Are you stupid?
Disgusting brand.
It's like Monsanto's underlying the entire thing, probably. Just, like, carrying the parade. And they're like, who can we put up here to, you know, put an image of it?
Is that the real conspiracy? Is that Monsanto actually owns the Macy's Day Parade?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look, I'm not a huge fan of Jeff Bezos and Amazon and everything. When they first came up, it was like, oh, that's actually really great. Probably better that they're there than not there at all.
Right.
Especially given the story. This could be a time of really sharing some authentic native...
Okay, I don't need any more of a Canadian's opinions on American culture. Let's see. What's the most popular videos on here? Oh yeah, he's got videos from, like, 15 years ago. So do we want to see Baby Jordan? I see Baby Jordan talk about channeling 15 years ago. As you missed it, Lavender. He said, like, his personal backstory is when his mother was a month pregnant with him, his dad wanted her to abort him, and she said no, and then his dad killed himself? And it's like, did his mother tell him that when he turned 18, and that's why at 19 he had this spiritual awakening and has been doing this crazy pants bullshit ever since? I think so. Like, I think it might be true.
At Plasmum you sent a super chat. As a New Yorker we call it the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Some friends and families go watch the parade while the rest are preparing food for everybody.
Yeah, that's typical. Like, in my family, it'd be like, oh, we're gonna watch the Macy's Day Parade, but it was always like while we were over, like, my grandma's for Thanksgiving or something. So, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about channeling 15 years ago with Baby Jordan. I'm fascinated. Oh, this one might be too old for a voice boost. Let's see how quiet it is.
So, I've never... I guess...
It's really quiet. Okay, hang on. I will try boosting it on my end. I'll have to remember to turn it back down. It's the only thing. Where's the advanced properties? Here we go. I've never, like, tried to do this before, so bear with me. I just accidentally turned down iTunes. Oops. Hang on! Alright, YouTube sound. Let us boost that by, like, 5 decibels.
Talked to you guys in person before, so this is kind of fun.
Tell me if you could...
hi, I'm Jordan, and I'm in Spirit Science. But I want to talk about something right now, because I think it's important to talk about. Recent video I posted was the Spiral Experience, and it was Jeffrey Hope from Crimson Circle, who was channeling down a being named Adamus, who was an ascended master, and he was, like, telling us stuff. And I saw this, and I was like, this is really cool. Like, the stuff he's talking about, everyone thinks time is, like...
So he was already into the woo-woo shit. He's already got, like, a spiritual necklace on and his little, like, New Age bracelet. So this was... We've never seen his origin point online, unfortunately.
To here. And you know, that's life. But he's showing us that it's like, no, it's about the expansion, because we're immortal, so we can do anything, forever, for infinity, so nothing really matters except the remembering. He's like, expand and, like, understand more. And people are watching this and they're being like, this guy's really rude. He's you know, he's bringing down your channel, man. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He thinks he's so much wiser. He is. Okay. Channeling, usually, any channel you watch, like, guaranteed, is usually relatively the same. See, everyone always sits there and they're like, they close their eyes, the channeler, and they're, like, starting to connect, so they're like, greetings everyone. How are you doing tonight? And they talk really weird, and you can see, like, the shift in character. So it goes from like, this is how I normally act.
They pretend to be somebody else, and I believe them.
Suddenly I'm like, and,
he was kind of always like this, huh?
This is very interesting, because the reason Crimson Circle is so awesome is because they have Adamus, this really powerful dude. Well, you know, he's this really expanded dude, I guess. He has a really strong connection with Jeffrey. So Jeffrey is able to talk and move around through Adamus. So anything Adamus does, it basically is not just channeling thoughts, it's channeling like movements and expressions. Because Adamus, who's really trying to help with this whole...
Did it occur to you the guy is acting, Jordan? Again, these are the kind of things you need to rule out and disprove before you can go to it's a magic being from a higher plane controlling his body.
Awakening thing, he's always saying like, we want to have a more integrated experience.
What the fuck was that?
This really strong connection. It's really integrated, you know? Like, it's normal channelings. I don't like watching normal channelings. They're just boring. They're so boring.
This is boring. Let's look at another older video, though, because I'm... Oh boy, let's hear Baby Jordan talk about the Hollow Earth.
Hi guys. So, in response to all of the comments coming in lately about, I guess, the two new videos I posted, Spirit Science 12_2 and the Hollow Earth film.
Oh my god, he was up to Spirit Science 12 when he posted this? So yeah, I don't know how many traces of pre-woo-woo Jordan there might be on the internet, but this ain't it.
We've known each other for some time. Have I steered you wrong in the last 11, or the first 11 episodes of Spirit Science?
Yes.
No. I'd say that they were well thought out and well put together, and like, they had valid information.
What was that? A spirit was trying to like enter you, but if I don't say so myself, I think my mumbo jumbo I put out is pretty good.
Information that you could learn about more and all of that. So
something evil keeps flashing inside of him. I'm seeing it psychically.
Different.
Maybe this is the evil energy from his dead father he was talking about.
This is much more expansive. This is much more big. The story that I'm telling. And it kind of seems like a lot of people are starting to be like, what's he getting at here? Yes, the story is ridiculous. I said so at the very beginning. I was like, this story is absolutely outrageous.
Oh, is this about the human history movie? Is this about the human history movie?
And you probably won't believe it. But I want to stress, just keep an open mind, because as the story unfolds, there's probably going to be 4 or 5 human history stories, but by the end of it, it's going to fit really well with what we currently know.
Okay, maybe he was releasing it individually, then he made it one big, long, crazy video.
So I want to say, if you're going to be watching the human history story, just take it like a story for now. You don't have to believe any of it. I'm not here to tell
Take it as a story for now. How about forever?
To believe it. I'm telling you, this is what Thoth and ancient texts tell us. And I think it's really...
This is what Thoth tells us. What you mean is this is what Drumvalel Melchizedek, who is in the Epstein files, claimed Thoth told him. And Thoth is a made-up god from Egypt.
Really cool. So the story itself, it gets really intense, but it starts like making sense. Like the, for example, I'll give you a little heads up for the next one.
He looks like a tube sock
the Merkaba experiment that went catastrophic 13,000 years ago, that's still at the bottom of the ocean in Bimini.
This is the guy who made the human history movie, everyone. This is him.
That is the cause of the Bermuda Triangle, and it's a triangle because the top of the Merkaba, the electromagnetic energy field that spans through multiple dimensions, is still chaotically spinning down there. You can go and...
If only they had gotten you on some kind of medication back here. I think history would have been better.
Wikipedia, you can find tons of these different stories of things and people and planes and boats disappearing without a trace in the Bermuda Triangle. It's like, where are they going? They just completely vanish. They're being sucked into different dimensions through the unstable Merkaba. Another example.
They went into the suck dimension,
the
okay.
race almost died out, but they were pure logic beings. And today, they still survive as the 13 families
that are in control of the world.
Okay, so he's just repeating shit from the Human History movie. I want to hear you talk about Hollow Earth.
As for the Hollow Earth theory, someone posted that video somewhere, I don't remember, and the link literally disappeared after I took it. And I found it, and it was this video that I posted, and it was all in like Russian or something. And when you translated the description, it gave like a description similar to what I posted on that one. So I was like, this is really cool. Like, this should be discussed more. I posted that up and was just like, guys, this is kind of neat. What do you think? And here's like a video explaining it. The Hollow Earth HD, whatever.
There's nothing he won't believe.
I think it's really cool.
There's nothing he won't believe except that the things he's experiencing aren't real.
Interesting concept, and I want to tell you a story about that because something happened recently that was also really, really neat. I was checking my YouTube emails, and the same day that someone first sent me the Hollow Earth 3D, like the explanation, that was like maybe a week ago or so, I got an email also from a guy on YouTube saying that he was being pulled out of his body, like what happened to Robert Monroe, like 3 or 4 times a day. So
Guys, people have been emailing me saying that they keep getting pulled out of their bodies. I'm such an enlightened spiritual guru that people seek wisdom from.
Sent him a message and we started talking on Skype. And I was like, listen, here's this video of the Hollow Earth.
Remember,
watch
Skype!
The video, see what you think. And then the next time you get pulled out of body, go to the North Pole and just see if there's a hole there. Because I'm curious, I want to know about it, right?
Well, next time you're astral projecting, just pop up to the North Pole and tell me if there's a big hole there. Obviously, no one has ever been to the North Pole, and they wouldn't know if there is or not already.
So he sends me a message. He gets back to me like a few hours later, and he's like, "Dude, I went to the North Pole.
I don't know, Spacefrog. Do you think he's worked Pastafarianism into his belief system yet?"
There's a serious hole in the top of the planet, and I was like, "What? What?" We started.
Wow, a guy who claims to astral project told me on Skype that there's a big hole in the Earth at the pole, so it must be true.
Talking more, and he didn't go in it the first time, but the next day, or 2 days later, he got back to me again.
This could just be another very lonely, unwell person role-playing with you, Jordan.
He's like, dude, I went in the hole. I was like, what did you see? What is it like? And he verified that what he said was that there was this giant glowing light in the very center of the planet. And according to all these channelings, like Adamus talked about this once, and he said that it was a giant crystal. So there's this giant, I guess, like this multi-dimensional energy.
Giant multi-dimensional crystal in the middle of the Earth. This isn't fucking Final Fantasy, bro.
Energy, life source, crystal thing in the center of the planet, and that's what that is.
Oh god, it's the cluster!
And then all around the inside, he said there was like continents and water and clouds and stuff, like exactly what the video showed. And I was like, what? I want to talk about this more. So I posted the video, and now this is...
Some guy told me this on Skype, and I made a whole video about it. What the fuck, my dude?
Me discussing it with you. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, because even if you don't believe...
He thought Land of the Lost was a documentary.
Like, maybe you just don't believe astral projection, and therefore that guy... The source
yeah, I don't.
You know, incredible, like...
Prove to me that astral projection can get viable information about anything. Prove that first.
Let's talk about this, because another thing that he said he saw outside of the Hollow Earth, outside of the hole, was a military base or like a research lab, like a government facility.
What a cool roleplay you guys were having. See, that's the thing with Jordan. Like, just write books. Just write sci-fi books, man. Like, these ideas, I mean, you'd probably be terrible at it, but even so, these ideas, you could just make a series of fucking fiction novels with these ideas, and you'd probably do alright.
Studying it. So, of course, and there's also, I think, a military no-fly zone actually above the hole as well, so you can't actually take your own plane up there if you had one. So let's at least talk about this. Let's not just instantly assume it's retarded. Even if it...
Oh my god, Jordan said the R-word! We have to cancel him!
Even if we find out down the road it is, I mean, it should be discussed. The only reason that
we find out down the road that this is retarded, I'm going to just believe it because some guy on Skype told me he totally astrally projected into the hole in the Earth. Okay, Jordan, 15 years ago. That's very cool. And this is the filmed Hollow Earth, apparently. Totally real footage. book in this, or is it just a video of... And this is supposed to prove what to me? Oh, you're right. He might go down the L. Ron Hubbard path if he writes books. You're right. We don't need another Scientology, which is basically what he's making. What do the comments say on this one? That's where I lost my keys. See, this is what YouTube is for. Not to glaze right-wing neo-Nazis. Do better. I always dreamed that I fly into this little spaceship and can't get out. Could also be a video of a planet other than Earth. Shrug. Mundo ignoto sar. What the hell does that mean? Unknown world. Sar. Okay. Here, it's all just green screen and CGI. Or he meant fake, I think. Come on, it's NASA. Anyone but NASA, and I'd consider it. They have not showed a single unedited, non-artist rendition picture of planet Earth. They say they can't go back to the moon because of technology, and that the James Webb Telescope can't turn its camera around to take a picture, but can see light years away clearly. Something does... Because the Earth is really big, it's hard to take pictures of, dude. Have you considered that? Come on, guys, if there really was a massive hole at the North Pole, it would be like an international tourist attraction. There's videos on YouTube of people flying over the North Pole. Anyone can do it. Guess what? No hole. And then people are like, oh, come on, it could still be there. Alright. So, he posted this fake video. That's really neat. Jordan Reese Foul 2? Well, here's the first cartoon he did with Patchman. Weird though, because he's talking about all the spirit sciences he's done here. Maybe he uploaded this like way later, I don't know. Revert to Growth trailer. Did he try to make a game? He was a Newgrounds guy. I better turn it down because I did turn it up on the... Okay, it is a game. Oh, looks kind of rough, buddy. Why is he kneeling the whole time? What the fuck is that about? Looks not good. There's several substances I think Jordan should be on that he's not. Instead, he takes ayahuasca. Oh, he's gonna show us his travel crystals, guys. Let's check that out.
So today was my last full day in Winnipeg before I leave for
as opposed to his home crystals.
All around, getting a bunch of stuff done. I took like 3 big bags of my clothes and gave them to Salvation Army. Gave away a bunch of old books and had to buy new goggles for my sister.
You gave him to the Salvation Army, huh?
Whole bunch of stuff. It was funny too because at the end of the day I was like, you know, I should have filmed it because that would have made a great video. But whatever, I guess. Moving on, I packed the bag.
I should have filmed myself giving to charity. That would have been a great content.
And it's super heavy. My intentions are that I don't come back. I basically got rid of everything that I own, except for a very minuscule amount of things. And
you don't come back for— where are you going? Wait, what?
What I was hoping to do is change Spirit Science into Spirit Quest. So after Spirit Science, take a break in between season 1 and 2, and go have a quest. I grew up watching things like Yu-Gi-Oh! and you know, Dragon Ball and all those cartoons and movies where like the young kid
they're not like
should be in school
they
going
don't
off and
they don't
adventures.
reflect real life, Jordan.
Like, man, I want to do that. I want to go have a quest to go adventure. Dragon Quest, love it. Final Fantasy, my favorite. So I'm doing that, or I'm gonna try. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm just gonna go with the flow and see how it goes. My first stop is California, where I'm working on this thing called the Pyramid Center. Basically, it's, you know, I'll get Joe to describe it when we're out there, because he'll do a much better job because it's his project. But basically, I'm just helping him make a video.
Why did you have to sell all your clothes to go to California? Did he intend to immigrate? What's going on?
To show to financial contributors so that we can actually get this thing moving a lot faster.
I
So while
doubt
I'm out
that
there, I'm
you
bringing my
ever made
computer,
this thing,
I'm bringing my
so...
laptop and all this stuff, and so my bag's really heavy right now, but after that, I'm gonna try and get rid of like half of that and then go off with like an even lighter backpack. So, let me see, let's look at what
I'm gonna guess this didn't pan out the way he imagined.
This is actually my school backpack from college, which I just graduated from. When you finish school, people always say, you know, what do I do now? You just get a job, and you
must be around
continue on with this
24
boring life
here.
where you go to work and you work for the day, and then you go home, and then you don't really.
I don't want a real job, guys. I know I'm not one to talk with the streaming and all, but hey, I've been in the working sphere, god damn it.
Have any big goals, and you're not really doing anything exciting. And that, for most people, that's kind of what happens, or you get a job. And
He's gotta smoke all those travel crystals. Show us your crystals, Jordan. Show us your crystals.
I haven't talked about crystals in Spirit Science yet, and I plan to, because crystals are actually really cool. They all have their own metaphysical properties. By just holding on to a stone for like a few weeks to a month, you'll start to notice.
And there's been studies done where they have people who believe in crystal healing hold fake crystals, and they said they could still feel the energy.
Some significant changes, or some changes, if you're open to these new energies. For example, so the first one that I ever carried around was actually a red tiger's eye, and I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know what it did at the time. My friend just got me into all this stuff. She was like, here's a box of stones, and she was like, just pick one that resonates with you. Just pick a stone. And I was like, all right.
And you went, ooh, I want this shiny one, because monkey brain.
Whatever. So I grabbed a stone, and it was this one called the red tiger's eye. I don't have it anymore, actually.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Lizard Brain.
She was like, yeah, that's your stone. I was like, all right. She's like, just carry it.
Well, the zoo game was very fun. The stream's only an hour long because the game is short, but we had a good time. Basically, I made it so if people super chatted what to record the animal saying, I had to do it.
Around for a month, and you know, you'll be fine. So what happened was, I carried around that stone for about a month. And after a month, I actually ended up going to this store called Radiance in Winnipeg. Actually, it's in Corden. So if you're in Winnipeg, go to Corden and check out Radiance. It's an awesome store. I was flipping through all the stones there, and I found the tiger's eye, and I read its description of what it did, and I literally almost fell over. I was like, holy crap! Everything that it said that it does happened to me over the last month. It was incredible.
What were the descriptions? Was it something very vague you could apply to anything? You know, like horoscopes, because it probably was.
Incredible. So I was like, okay, let me try this again. So I bought a blue apatite, I think it's called, which is good for lucid dreaming and a bunch of different things. And I, once again, slowly over the next like month, I started having more and more experiences. Now, for the skeptics, because this is, you always have to address both sides of the stories. Is people will often say, well, you know, it's a placebo or it just doesn't work.
Yes.
Because some people might get it, and they'll be like, get a stone, carry it for a while, and just expect it to do the work for you. This stone to change your life, and everything's good. But that's not how it works. It has to come from you. The change has to come from you.
So it is a placebo. The change has to come from you. The rock is just something for you to focus on to, you know, have the thought patterns that you want. So it's a placebo or a simulacrum, yes. And that's okay if that's a mental exercise that works for you, but it doesn't have fucking magic powers. The only thing that makes a gemstone is just the way its atoms are arranged and its molecules are arranged. That is it. That's what makes a crystal. It's not fucking magic. It's just, they're nice and shiny to our monkey brains, and we're like, ooh, sparkly.
That you carry is more of just like a helper. Like it basically emits like an energy, or more or less.
Yeah, exactly, Dr. Lizard Brain. Pray for what you want, and then work to make that happen. Like, I think when he explained the law of attraction, it was like that. It's like, oh yeah, you just have to think really hard about what you want, and then you have to go out and do it. And it's like, yeah?
It is that your energies or your essence is kind of activating the dormant energy that's in the stones. Long story. But it actually has to do with Atlantis and the density or molecular density of the dimension.
It has to do with Atlantis and the molecular density of dimensions. Of course!
What it is, and through activating it, you have to be open to those energies. So if you're a skeptical person, and you're going, oh, you changed my life stone in my pocket.
Oh, if you're a skeptic, it just won't work. It'll only work if you believe it'll work, which is what a fucking placebo is, Jordan!
And it's not, well, it's because of you. You have to be like, all right, just breathe it in, take in these new energies coming into your life. You will experience changes in how you react to situations.
Okay, this one's getting boring, but the Atlantis thing made me want to listen a little longer. Oh, here's him at the fucking airport on his mate. Like, why didn't you walk if this is a spiritual quest? Why didn't you fucking walk to California and, like, camp out and be in nature, Jordan? I'm on a plane! This is so spiritual.
It's way too hot in this car! Oh my god.
Okay.
We're going, yeah, let's go get Slurpees.
We're going to go get Slurpees.
We just had sushi and now we're going to the airport.
Oh, these are probably his friends. This is your first time
Here we go.
on a plane?
Slurpee.
Yeah, very
I got it!
The power of editing! None of this music's fucking copyrighted.
Just had sushi and now we're going to the airport.
I'm never gonna actually see him at the airport. Oh, I guess we are. This is so exciting for him, guys.
This is the tiniest.
Yeah, it's amazing how much he's just always lacked charisma
so
and a sense of humor. It's incredible, isn't it? This is like his first time in America. He said he wasn't gonna come back. I'm glad he went back to Canada.
So as I'm walking through the Denver airport, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about a
See you
few
later,
things that I saw recently.
I'll be wrapping up soon anyway.
One was actually just on the plane. Actually, the window was closed for like at least half of the flight, but when I opened it up, and I saw the shadow of the plane on the cloud. But it was really cool because right around the plane was like rings of rainbows, which was really cool.
That's how water vapor and light works,
and it wasn't
Jordan.
just like one, but it was like three emanating out of it, almost as if the shadow of the
Oh my
plane
god, I
itself
saw
was
rainbows
floating,
when
and that was
light
really
hit a cloud!
The other things that I saw were actually the other day. I was walking the dog with my friend Sarah, and the sky was completely gray. Like, it was just clouds and it was just flat. And then out of nowhere appeared a giant arrow, and it was like a perfect arrow right in the clouds pointing towards Selkirk. And Selkirk is where my brother lives, and I hadn't seen him yet before I left. So I was like, I have to go see Tapas. So I texted him that night, and I was like,
so important, the clouds are telling him to call his brother.
dude, let's hang out. So I went over there and we hung out. And then we were walking around.
I didn't know he had a
the
brother.
conversation switched to UFOs, and we started talking about UFOs.
So, how is this family arranged? Because you said your biological father killed himself when you were a month in your mother's womb. But you also have another parent and a brother. But you're not calling him a stepbrother, so... I'm just a little confused. Or it's a half-brother, but that maybe she, like, found a husband very, very soon after Jordan was born or something. I don't know. I'm just a little confused.
Guess what we saw? We were looking up at the stars, and we were like, oh man, the stars are so nice tonight. And then this giant ball of light moves across the sky really slowly. And it took about 5-10 minutes for it to actually go from one side of the sky to the other. And that was really fucking cool. So
you saw an airplane or a ball of plasma or something? I see things in the sky. I guess he did go to California. So he's in a park at least. Again, why didn't you walk to California on your spirit quest? Paradise found. Okay. Live in the... Oh, it's Halloween. I was like, why are you blue, Jordan? It's Halloween, thank God. Oh, he went to Occupy Wall Street? Oh, Jesus. And then he went to some fucking... one of these, like, retreats or something. Full Moon and Soul Families. Are you joining a cult? And he went to a gem show. He's hanging out with some filthy hippies. Interesting. I don't know. Was he? Oh, I thought he was like a Frankenstein. Maybe he is dressed like Patchman. You're right. Okay, hang on. Hang on. We have to see this. We have to see this. Yeah, I would have thought Frankenstein, but he has the stitch. You're right. Where are you blue in this video? Why is that the okay, oh, it's at the- oh god! Oh god! It's at the very start! Guys, I think this is gonna be horrifying. I thought you said you hated people thinking you're Patchman. Oh god.
So, it's Halloween.
Uh-huh.
And the guy I'm staying with right now, Andrew, is having a huge Halloween party. So, and he was like...
So I'm bluing myself.
So, you should dress up. So I have to dress up. But I didn't know what to go as. We went to the Halloween store and got a ton of blue paint, or blue, you know, body paint. And I'm gonna be Patchman. So
God,
that, or
right,
that
he is gonna be
that's what we're
Patchman.
trying to do. I don't know what it'll look like in the end.
Yeah, it's already not coming out very well, and you forgot to take off your fucking bracelet.
Here's the update so far.
This is the last thing you see before he, like, guts you and rips out your organs!
I have a patch! Alright, and it's time for the final updates. Bam.
I figured it out. Okay.
My hands...
He looks like a creature from the back rooms! This whole room is, like, yellow, too! Kane Pixels, here's your next guy! Here's your next horror for the back rooms!
Bam.
I figured it out. Okay.
My hands, because I need them to do things.
Yeah.
But,
Could have gotten some gloves.
I have the patch, and I have the other patch, and my whole body, with the exception of my hands. Only one side of my hands. It actually looks like I'm wearing gloves. Are blue.
So the party raged on for a few hours, and then I had to wash the blue off due to awkwardness, but then... Uh-huh.
And not entirely, but there's...
Alright, okay, I think we saw, like, the best part of the video there. What else is here? What else you got for us, Jordan? Is this where you got your new clothes? Oh, behind the scenes at Spirit Science. Mm-hmm. Is Spirit Science a religion? There's a good question. How loud is this one?
Okay, maybe like... Maybe like turn the decibels down again.
Following my intuition after last week's video, I got a whole number of little emails, all asking pretty much the same thing. Upon reflection, I actually found this is one of the questions that I get asked the most. Maybe not the most, but one of the most asked questions that I also get
There's
from
music in this one.
and Patch Parables and Spirit Quest and all these things, which is this a religion? Is it a cult? Is it a what the hell is it? So
it's not a cult yet, but it very well could become one.
Question, I think I have to kind of go back and just share a little bit more about where Spirit Science came from, so that we can actually maybe get to the core of what it is that's going on here.
Oh! The other half of his villain story, guys!
Even for me,
this might be the last one we watch tonight, but I wouldn't mind revisiting this channel, because I think there's a lot of crazy on it.
A number of times I'm like, wow, I have absolutely no idea.
This is definitely the worst Jordan hair. Oh my god. Yeah, you probably should just keep shaving it.
What's happening? On a number of occasions I even said, you know, this is an experiment in expression. This is a discovery of something new. This is something completely new for me in my life. And you know, what it seems like is it's something new for a lot of people's lives, and not everybody else knows how to describe it. Was it you? And I hear a whole bunch of cool stories about, you're like, oh man, I was against looking at this for months and months, and my friends sat me down and said, you have to watch this. And then they would sit down and watch it and be like, holy shit, this makes so much sense. Oh my god, and have, you know,
nothing you say ever makes sense.
New ideas about ways of being and ways of living on this planet. So, well, I gotta say, I think that's pretty cool, and I'm really happy that I'm able to share that excitement with everybody, because really that's how I felt when I started it. So Spirit Science started because I had found something new in my life, and I had found something.
Yeah, because your mind was easily blown. Yes.
I didn't know why. I was just like, there's something about what this is, And at the time, I didn't even know how to describe it. I was like, there's this sacred geometry which connects to these thought things, and then there's this.
You still don't know how to describe it, Jordan, because you just try to mishmash every belief in the world together, and they don't work.
There's all this new ancient information, and you can put it all together, and you get this
new ancient information, just brand new ancient information. Okay.
Thing, and I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna make some videos about it. I'm gonna call it Spirit Science. Here you go. And I tossed it out into the sea of consciousness that we call the YouTube internet
13 years later.
Worldwide connection system global network thing. The Spirit Science really ultimately emerged.
What was that face? You're not funny, Jordan.
It was something that I had found that I was really excited about, really passionate about. So this week, as I was looking for questions and I was looking around, people were asking, is it a religion? Is it called New Age? Is Scientology? People were throwing these weird things at it, and I was saying, well, you know, maybe this actually calls for us to take a step back and ask a very fundamental question. What is a religion? What is a belief? What is a cultural system? How does it work in the world?
Are you gonna explain anything?
I asked an expert.
Probably not.
And this is what he said.
So, what exactly is an expert? If you will indulge me for just a moment while I share with you my interpretation of what an expert is. Someone you think, or I think, knows more about a particular topic or subject than I do, or you do. An expert is someone we often defer to because they have more information, or better information, or somehow information that is better than what we...
Except you guys mistrust the experts who actually have studied science for years and just think you know better.
We think we know. It's also often a convenient scapegoat for pointing a finger when something maybe doesn't work out exactly like we expected it to, or like we had hoped it would. We can say, oh, well, I listened to the experts. It's not my fault. This is often the place with those who purport or espouse religion emphatically. They're insistent that, the religious doctrine is the right one, the way we should follow it. It's, that sort of pulpit thing. Here, the religious icon or the religious figure.
The fuck makes you guys any different?
Stands above everyone else to speak to them or down to them often to espouse this.
Yeah, you guys definitely aren't speaking down to us right now, acting like we're fucking idiots for not believing your convoluted nonsense.
Specialized knowledge or information that they somehow divinely possess that's better than what you know, or what I know, or what anyone else knows. So much like an expert, we're supposed to defer to them and take their information as, well, how does the phrase go? Gospel? I might propose for just a moment that we consider what the word religion actually means. And I mean, let's go back in history a little bit and see, where does the word come from? What does it mean?
The modern understanding of religion and the etymological understanding of where the word came from mean two completely different things. And so it's like our ancient meaning, the older meaning of the word, does not match what we currently understand it to be. So right off the bat, you have this kind of
That's how language works, Jordan.
break in what things used to mean and what they mean now. And now it's kind of become this, a big circle of moral and cultural belief systems in relationship to something that is out there. Often, at least that's the idea, is something that's, out there. And it's...
Well, not every religion has, divinity. Or has a creator god, though, so...
Something that you can grab onto. Something that someone else is telling you about, rather than something that you're finding from within yourself.
Now, the most recent definition that you can find from, Webster's Dictionary...
But Jordan, you didn't find this from within yourself. You read a bunch of 70s New Age books and believed every single part of them.
Or Google is, the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. Sometimes also details of belief as taught or discussed. But if we go back a little farther...
Well, yeah, but a superhuman controlling power isn't necessarily a god, because then you have religions like Buddhism where there isn't really, a lead god or a creator god.
We find something really interesting. As early as, circa 1200, we find the state of life bound by monastic vows. Also, conduct indicating a belief in a divine power. But if we
sounds like religion basically meant organized religion back then, Go
back even a little further than that, we find an old French version of a religion meaning community, or respect for what is sacred. And then, before that, we find Cicero, who derived from religere, to go through again, to read again. Perhaps even another possibility is religions. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, it's so old, but the opposite of negligence. Careful or full of care. Perhaps with this understanding.
So, no wonder Jordan liked Charlie Kirk, because these guys are just going into pedantry. It's like, well, the root word originally meant this. It's like, yes, but how are we using it now? How do we use it now, today, with the subject we are speaking about? Like, you're just waffling and stalling.
We can share in the careful exploration of what all these ideas mean, what they mean to me, what they mean to you, what they mean to us together.
Taking all of those things and putting them together.
What our relationships mean, what our relationships could look like, and how we could all relate equally together.
You come into a space where you can be open to all ideas, and then you can make connections with other real people and talk to them about what things mean to you.
I don't know, I think he had a lower third for the guy explaining what the fuck he is, but I wasn't paying attention. Ray Camille, an expert. An expert in what? What are his credentials? He's just like, hello, I am a expert. What the fuck? Anyway.
Interpretations of what the world means, of what the universe means, what it means to you, what it means to me.
So this wishy-washy hippie bullshit,
So by looking
that's
at
what
all
they're
these
saying.
different cultures and belief systems, you can actually form a new idea, a new understanding of the way things are, and I think that that's kind of where the magic lies, is bringing...
See, it's exactly what I'm saying. This is Jordan's whole motivation. He wants to take every single belief system in the world and turn it into one mega belief that he is like the spiritual guru of.
their feet.
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Indians from India? Do you mean Native Americans? Which tribe? Who worships cats and dogs? What? Everything, especially what you're saying.
So I guess to bring it all together, you know, we have this, what is spirit science? Is it
He
our
said
New Age,
absolutely
is it
nothing.
Christian?
He's an expert in saying absolutely nothing, just like Jordan.
Then it becomes...
Jordan, I see exactly what you're trying to create, and it's insane. I've always known. I've said it this entire stream. You are trying to mush every single belief system into one big mono-belief.
kind of an expression of my vibration.
Jordan definitely doesn't have his head up his own ass.
Do we want to make, you know, instead of having to go out, there's this legal system and a patent system, and then there's these
Yeah, much like Dimension and Mass, he doesn't know how to use the word vibration properly either.
guys are going to try and sue you, and these guys own these technologies, and this guy, you know, if everyone could just get together and say, okay, this is what we have. What do we want to make? And, you know, there's a division of guys who are like, man, I love portal guns.
Why can't everybody just hold hands and get along and make cool sci-fi technology?
And then there's other guys who are like, cloud cities, I'm all over the cloud cities. And then, you know, there's people who are like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we made, like, these...
Wouldn't it be cool if we just sat around thinking about how cool it is if we had cloud cities and portal guns? That would be so cool, guys.
Bicycles that were completely electrically... make a
Oh god, he uses vibration in so many different contexts, and they're all wrong. Again, you should watch Martymer81's Why Do People Laugh at Spirit Science series. It's really good.
With like a pod around it or something so that you can stay warm in the winter and it still has the same things to it. I mean, there's so many cool things that we could make, and we just have to get out of our own way, in a sense.
Okay, he's being boring. So I found his friend's website. I think this is the right guy. What was his name again? Pretty sure it was Ray Camille. I looked it up Spirit Science related, and he came up on Facebook. So, what? What are you an expert in, sir? What are you an expert in? Oh, an insider login. Ooh, you gotta support him for his insights. What are your insights, Ray? Ray's blog is currently private. Okay. Connections. Ray's blog is currently private. Okay, so there's like fucking nothing on here. I'm just going to assume this guy is not an expert in anything. So there's the privacy and policies page can't be found. And there's no legal junk either. Why do you still pay for this domain? Oh well, this was not as interesting as I thought. Anyway, I'm just gonna why do people laugh at Spirit Science Martymer81? This is the guy who basically reintroduced me to Spirit Science. Like I said, I watched the human history video, and I thought it was a fever dream. And then I found this guy's series. He's an actual honest-to-God science teacher. You can see his first one was 13 fucking years ago. He did a lot of them at first, and then he just kinda, now just pops up every now and then to do another one. Like, his most recent one was 2 years ago. So, yeah, every once in a while he just pops up and does another one, but... And, like, he has jokes and stuff. It's a little awkward because he's really not a performer, but he is a very good, like, teacher. And just, he's the one who started the Space Jews joke. And the what the onk does that mean, Jordan? Joke. So if you want more shitting on Spirit Science by someone who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about, and they're pretty short videos, I highly, 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 highly recommend this series. Very good. It's very, very good shit. Very good shit. So I promise I'll leave Jordan off the voting list for a while yet. I'll be good. I'll be good. You guys gave me some opportunity to do Jordan 10. So, I don't think I have any plans before the Wednesday stream right now. I might do a couple more gaming streams, soon. I definitely want to play Dated, whose music is playing right now. I definitely want to play the game he's releasing on Steam on the 10th. So, that'll be fun. But other than that, thank you for your super chats. Thank you for joining me for this absolutely insane bullshit that we laughed at tonight. I think it was fun. And I don't know if we'll do a react on Wednesday or not. It'll depend how I feel. But if there is, I'll put up a poll. So other than that, I hope to see you guys on Wednesday. And goodbye for now.